Welcome to the show. Tonight we got a lot to talk about. This is the Knicks Call Up Show. First off, the Knicks have been making a lot of negotiations, initiating a lot of conversations with teams in regards to their coaches from Dallas to Quinn Snyder. I mean, they've been talking to everybody with a coach, and mostly all of the time they did it, they were denied. We're going to talk about that and answer the question: are the Knicks desperate or calculated? Right. Another thing too, I want to ask on this Coach Tibs saga, coaching search saga. Did the Knicks make a mistake in firing Coach Tibs? Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, they gave their opinions. We'll talk about that. Who stays, who goes? A lot of chatter about our upcoming free agents. Listen, man, this is the Knicks Call Up Show. We're going to talk about all these topics and more. Welcome to the Knicks Call Up Show. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the Objective Fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you know the vibes, y'all. Welcome to the Knicks Call Up Show. I appreciate all you guys in the building early. Definitely, we rocking. Salute to Crim's Dad. I see you in the building early. Salute to HRM the Great. All the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server channel members. I see you guys early. I see you, Yuri. Salute that FS Wisdom. Buzzer Beater. Are y'all glad Thibs is gone? I think a lot of these guys are glad. We're gonna talk about that. And by the way, this is the call up show, so let's get the calls coming in. I just finished that OKC game. Hey, all NBA first teamers and all stars, y'all. OKC tied the series up. OKC getting ready to win this in 6. And SGA showed you the value in having these guys and why you need these All-NBA All-Stars. Phone lines look good. Salute to you, Yuri. I see you in the building. And salute to you, Fritz. I also see you in the building. I do got my first caller.
Yo.
Hello, caller. State your name. Where you calling from?
This is Yuri from the Bronx in Knicks Tape Discord.
Salute, man. How you feeling tonight?
Good. Don't underestimate Scott Foster to extend this series.
I knew y'all was gonna say that.
Now, come on. Come on. You're not gonna tell me those calls were bullshit.
Watch the language early. I listen. I understand the passion. Watch the language early. But go ahead.
You're not gonna tell me those calls were bullcrap.
Okay.
Scott was wilding tonight. You can't even front on that on both teams.
Hey, man, listen, man. It's the unpredictability of the NBA playoffs, and you got two small market teams. We cannot have this end in 5 games, and the OKC Thunder are the better team.
Yeah.
So
and they showed it tonight.
You know,
And
I mean, come on. You really think these guys are gonna lose? Come on.
Honestly, with the way they did, Pacers were shooting them threes like crazy, bro.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna tell you what makes the Pacers difficult, and I actually said this on the call-up show
when we were facing the Knicks before the Knicks series started, right?
Right. When the Knicks were down, and I said, "Yo, the Pacers are gonna give OKC trouble," and I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers win it all. But that was, of course, before I came to my senses, and I was like, "Yeah, they don't got the All NBA first team, so they're not gonna win." In the history of the basketball, but no, seriously. The way they play, they're very hard to defend because you don't have the one guy that you got to key in on. When they played against Minnesota, Ant-Man. They played against Denver, Jokic. So I knew that Indiana will pose problems.
Right. Yeah, no, Indiana was going to pose problems for them regardless. But here's the thing. Indiana looks tired. They look
tired.
You think
so?
Tonight. I think Indiana looked tired tonight. OKC was not fatigued at all. I don't know. That's what it looked like to me. I gotta watch it again. Listen, I might be a Knicks fan. I'm a Knicks fan, but I'm a casual NBA fan. at the same time.
Okay.
So I look
Okay.
forward to watching small market teams. You know,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
how.
Yeah. I watch it. I watch a lot of games. Like, so throughout the year, I'm watching 2 games a night,
So
and then I watch the Knicks game twice. So most nights I'm watching 3 games, and if I can't catch them live, I watch the condensed games. So
right.
it's a lot going on. But Yuri,
Yeah,
since
let's
we
get
on the
on the top.
topic, this is the Knicks. This is the Knicks call. Well, well, first off, this show technically is the callers are the topic, but I do got questions. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, hit me.
So recently we've been seeing the moves from Leon Rose in the front office. They've been hollering at a lot of teams who have their coaches already under contract,
Yeah.
asking for permission, right? Do you see the move as desperation? Is it a move out of desperation, or are the Knicks front office being calculated and really deliberate in their moves? What do you think?
That's funny because I was watching a Fritzy talk about this, right?
Okay.
With was watching Fritzy talk about this on his stream. I don't think it's desperate. I think it's very calculative. You know, you're the only vacancy coach in a spot. You know what I mean? Why not ask other teams about other coaches? I don't see a problem with it. If they're doing their due diligence, leave them be. I feel like the process is being way blown out of proportion. And
I got you.
I feel like when being way blown out of proportion is corn. You're not going to tell me that Shams was wilding when he was reporting every single time he was reporting every move they made.
Yeah, I mean,
in the NBA Finals. That's what I meant when I said Knicks for clicks on the last time when I was calling you up. This is all Knicks for clicks, folks.
Oh, I remember when you posted. That's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. This is Knicks for clicks. They know the NBA Finals suck. That it's not being presented well. I can go on a rant about that, but I'm going to stay on topic, right?
Right.
But the point is that why not ask? It happened to us with Pat Riley. Why not? You know what I mean?
Good point.
It happened to us with Pat Riley back in June of 1995. Why not go and steal someone else's coach? I don't see a problem with it.
Well, technically, what they did was kind of like was wrong because they had secret meetings, and of course, this was alleged in that book, Blood of the Garden, by Chris Herron. He said that they had meetings, secretly, while the team was playing. So that's crazy to me.
I still got to beat that, by the way.
It's a great book. If you want to learn about the '90s, get the book Blood in the Garden. It's a really great read. Really,
I definitely will. But back to the topic at hand. I don't think it's desperate at all. I think it's being way blown out of proportion. They're just doing their due diligence. You know, if there's one thing I've learned from what they're doing, they don't want another Thibs like coach. That's what if there's anything that this search has told me, they don't want anything to do with Thibs.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is they don't want nothing to do with a Thibs like coach like Mike Malone. That's obvious. They even stated, Stephen Bonnie even stated he's not even going to be in the interest for the Knicks.
Yeah, I see they're interviewing Taylor Jenkins and Mike Brown. I don't like the Mike Brown.
Mike Brown,
I think that would be a big mistake. Yeah, I think that would. But Taylor Jenkins is interesting.
Right. Mike Brown, I'm not interested. Taylor Jenkins, on the other hand, though, I like Taylor Jenkins. The reason why I like Taylor Jenkins is that I feel like his name has been, both coaches' names have been run through the mud.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So I think that's why they have a bullet on their back.
Right.
You got Mike Brown, who was the coach of Sacramento, who was an offense head coach, right? That had the best offense for Sacramento back in 2023, right? And the 2022-2023 season, right? Only to get eliminated in the first round, right? I feel like his name gets caught under a lot of flack because he wanted to develop De'Aaron Fox, and he got fired.
And see, like that. See, I understand. Listen, this is America, land of second chances, but at the same time, it's like a dude who just got. Yeah, exactly. But you hiring a guy who got fired, it's like I don't know. I just feel like
It's weird.
it's risky a little bit, though it's part of the game.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. It's either you getting a new coach or a guy that was fired. Rarely do you have Rick Carlisle's who leave one team to go to another team, not fired in his last job at least. He was fired before, but not in his last
he was
job.
fired from the Pistons. I remember that, right?
Right, he was fired from the Pistons. So, but I still like having a veteran coach over a rookie coach, because I know you guys in the chat. Yes, you guys.
We're gonna kill. We're gonna kill Johnny Bryant if he gets hired.
Yeah, you're gonna kill Johnny Bryant or whoever else is brand new. So I'm not
gonna kill him. I'm gonna state that out there. I'm not gonna kill him. Right? Everyone else.
I don't know, Yuri. You might, because you joined the anti-Thibs hire for a couple of times.
A couple times. That was a couple. Don't put words in my mouth, all right? But anyway, back on topic.
I'm gonna say calculated only because I want to believe in Leon Rose, and he's on the hot seat for me, but I can't act as though he hasn't made great moves in the past. So they did a great job to me last year, maintaining first apron status while being able to restructure the roster in the way they thought that could help this team move forward. But I'm gonna say calculated because right now they're the only team looking for a coach. Right?
As of right now. And I don't think nobody else is gonna get fired. I can't see Dog Note getting fired. There was a rumor about that, actually. I'm gonna tell you a rumor I heard. This is a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. If OKC loses this series, they're going after Giannis, or they're firing Mike.
Hey man, they got the Thanos Infinity Stones.
I think
I will pull the trigger. You already know me. I'm pulling the trigger. I'm pulling the trigger.
I think I give you a heads up on that, though. FYI.
Yeah. If I'm OKC, man, and I lose, I don't think OKC's going to lose.
I don't think so either.
You've seen it tonight, the value of having that MVP first teamer. That's what's needed to win a championship. All that other stuff is cute. And they're going back home. We've seen this in the past. Teams, drop the first game. The team that's the lowest seed takes a 2-1. We've seen that before. So it doesn't mean you're going to win the championship. I mean, you've seen Neesmith, or who was that at the free throw line for Indiana?
Benedict Mathurin.
Benedict Mathurin crack under pressure at the free throw line. It's a little bit different in the finals. It's a little bit different.
Out about the news for the head coaches, right? There's supposedly more in the mix. There's more in the mix. The media is trying to paint it out that these are the only two coaches the Knicks are hiring or looking at, which is not true. A report say that it's Mike Brown and Tyler Jenkins they're reviewing as of right now.
Right. I even seen them say the Knicks may circle back to Jason Kidd and Billy Donovan. I'm like, how the hell are they gonna do that?
I don't know.
That's weird. I don't, like you said, Knicks for clicks. I don't know if this is Knicks for clicks.
That's Knicks. That is Knicks for clicks. I don't believe that for a minute. But I, however, do expect the more names to be in a mix, not just those two. So I'm pretty sure Leon and the front office already has a list of who they want to get. Remember, a report did come out today by Sampson saying they will be looking into assistant coaches as well going into next week. So starting today,
I mean, I think that you have to only just to do due diligence.
Right.
But I don't think they're gonna go with an assistant coach.
I don't see them going with Mike Brown. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Unless it's like a Sam Cassell. I could definitely see a Sam Cassell. Let me show this on the screen really quick so you guys won't think I'm capping. But did you see the Roommates podcast?
Yes, I did. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Shout out to Josh Hart. You know what I mean? Shout out to both of them.
So did you? All right. So you saw the episode.
So
you saw when they were talking about Coach Tibs, right? And Josh Hart said that Coach Tibs really helped his career.
Yeah.
Helped him get to the next level. He didn't really know his trajectory as a player. Like he was able to discover himself and improve as a player. That's what Josh Hart said. Jalen Brunson said he's known me since he's been a very
Jalen
little
had an
kid,
emotional connection with Thibs. I can tell that's a
right?
perspective.
He helped him become an All NBA All Star twice and All NBA, teamer twice. So this made me prop the other question that I want to ask tonight. Did we make a mistake firing Coach Tibs? Did we
Now,
jump the gun based on what Hart and OG, his development, Karl Anthony Towns make
right,
starting as not just those two guys. A lot of the players can say that he helped took their games to another level.
right.
So what do you
I'm
think?
gonna say no. I don't think they jumped the gun.
Okay.
Right now, yes. No, as of right now, yes. But it needed to be done going forward. It needed to be done going forward. And it wasn't the coach. It wasn't the players that got him fired. It was himself. It was Thibs himself that got himself fired.
Right.
Period. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if it had anything to do with Dolan. Thibs got himself fired. Thibs got himself fired for running a 7 to 6 man rotation in freaking October, November. I don't give a crap if it was the injuries excuse, Corin. Don't give me that.
Well, I mean, clearly there was a disconnect between Leon
Leon and
Rose
Thibs.
and
I'm
Tibbs.
going to take that with a grain
Because,
of salt. I'm taking that with a grain of salt. You know
but
what I
what
mean?
if Tibbs just wasn't happy with the roster that Leon Rose gave him? What if he felt like the roster was not good? It was incomplete. So because you didn't give me the guys that I wanted, I'm only going to play 7 to 8 guys. Right? You know that wasn't the case.
We don't know what really went on behind the scenes.
Right. And yes, the players. I hear what you're saying. Like, cause I also subscribe to everything that happens to me is my fault. I don't look to blame others, right? But at
Right.
the same time, those players did throw him under the bus. They said they don't know if they could play for him. They said he was playing us too many minutes. A la Mikal
I feel like
Bridges.
that was a hit piece right there. I felt like those were all hit pieces. You know how I am. Knicks for clicks. You know what I mean?
No. Those were sources. Those were people. Hey, they're well sourced. We talked about it on the podcast.
Right.
I don't do the Knicks for click sources. I do real deal sources. Like
So
this
those were
source right
actual
here.
sources. So those were
Like look, like this source right here. This is from the New York Times. Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd, Chicago Bulls, Billy Donovan are the two the New York might circle back to in the next coming weeks.
Oh yeah,
The
right.
belief around the
They
league
have
is
contract extensions. I forgot about that.
right. Exactly.
So
If those don't materialize, they may be open to joining the Knicks.
let me get my thought process on Thibs firing because I've been thinking about it a lot lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at everything that's been happening, right? Leon Rose and Thibs not talking to anymore. The players turning his back on him, right? The players turning his back on him. Mikal Bridges speaking out about the minutes, right? OG not being happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And players not knowing what their role is.
Yeah, the bench guys for sure.
Oh, yo, someone's trying to call in Corin, apparently.
Yeah, all right. So let me. I got a couple of people trying to call now. I was going to let you get your final words out.
Yeah, my final thought is this, right? When it comes to Thibs, the firing had to be done, whether people like to admit it or not.
Okay, I hear you. I disagree, but that was Yuri, Knicks Tape Madness Discord server channel member. If you just joined the chat, this is the Knicks Call Up Show. Keep the calls coming at 646-995-8389. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, right? Especially if you're feeling the content, hit that like button so more Knicks fans could discover the channel, right? Also hit the bell icon too so you get all the notifications. That's to all the subscribers. And also, if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. So yeah, definitely smash that like button. And salute to everybody that's joined. I see you, FS Wisdom. FS Wisdom, man, you be putting some good comments up in the chat. I be seeing you all the time. I got you, FS Wisdom. He keeps me on my toes. So got a person about to get up in here. Hopefully they answer. And like I said, keep the calls coming, guys. Oh, I see you, Sam. definitely join the channel for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the channel membership in a second. Juan, if you are listening, I'm trying to get you back on the line because I did miss your call. I missed a couple of calls. Yeah, Juan, call back. Try calling this other number. Crimes Dad, yes, you did get comment of the week, Crimes Dad. Salute the Crims Dad. I don't care what other comments it said. You won it. Hello, caller. State your name. Where you calling from?
Juan in South Carolina, you already know who it is.
Of course, man. You know I know who it is. Your number's locked in, man.
I gotta tell the people I know.
So listen, man. Where we going tonight? What do you have something you want to get off your chest, or do you want to get straight to the question? What's up?
Yeah, well, I want to get something off my chest with the question.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You want me to ask it? You want me to? How you want me to do this? All right, look.
You got that Stewie voice. You ever see the episode where he was like mocking Brian? He's like, you gonna write a book? You gonna tell a good story?
I was never into that. I never was into that show.
No.
Yeah, I kind of. Yeah. When it came out in the 90s.
99, yeah.
Oh no! See, I was beyond the cartoons by that point. But yo, so first question, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see the Knicks going, on a rampage, just hitting up everybody, hitting up every team, hitting up their moms, right?
Their
asking,
uncles,
hey,
their mamas,
man,
baby's mamas, the seconds, thirds, uncles.
Listen, man, we new to the neighborhood, right? But yo, we want to know if we could borrow your coach. We need to talk to your coach and be getting denied left and right, right? So,
so
is
they don't
this
want
a
to trade the
move?
coach. Yeah.
Is this a move of desperation, or is it a calculated move? What say you?
I don't know. Like on the surface, it appears desperate. I'll say that.
Right.
Like surface level.
For sure.
It does appear desperate to. But what I've seen from Leon Rose is that he's always creating noise, and then he goes like another direction. Like he curves left or middle when people think he's going right. Like he always goes a different direction. So I don't know but I don't know why would you need to do that on the coach front. I don't know what the strategy is.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it's like, I know they're on point, right? Even though for me, this is just me.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, the organization. This is not Dolan.
Right.
Leon Rose is on the hot seat for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it. For me personally,
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. Should be on the hot seat. But I also
he's on my hot seat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Yuri too that this had to be done though.
Okay.
Because you cannot win in today, and you know me. I said it before. I'll say it again. And this is something I haven't said before, but I'll say the one I've said before is you can't run these rotations these days. It just doesn't work. You see it with Denver. You saw it with the Knicks. You can't run short rotations. Guys, like the pace of the game is too quick. It's not like it was back in the day where you could run a short rotation. And guys, benches are too deep. The two deepest teams in the finals right now.
Good point.
And one of them are going to win a chip. And they all use their bench. They're using 9-10-man rotation. And Thibs being stubborn is like, you're not going to win a championship that way. It wasn't going to happen. I'm tired of hearing Thibs guys and this, that, and other. Who gives a crap? Do your job. Figure out how to use it. Like in any job, you got to figure out what you got to use what you got.
So no, you're 100% spot on, right? Can't really challenge that, but I could say, why didn't Leon Rose, the great Leon Rose, put together a better roster? We've seen Coach Tibs play 9 and 10 guys in the prior years.
Right.
Why didn't Leon Rose give him the guys that he wanted so he could play his bench more? That's just my question on the flip side.
But what about but let's see, his guys are what? Defensive guys?
Man, honestly, yo, I don't know who Coach Tibs likes because all of a sudden Landry Shamet
Who
became a defensive guy, and I just never thought of him like that before he came to the Knicks. So I
he
don't
became
know.
two-way. But here's
He
the thing,
became a
right?
two-way, 3-and-D guy. Yeah,
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? He's given him because to me, Tibbs like defensive veterans. He's given him DeLon Wright. He's given him players like that. He still don't freaking use them. So what? Like, you know what? Like, I think
well,
Leon. To me,
to be
I think this
fair,
is. Yeah. Go ahead.
to be fair, DeLon Wright came in the second half of the season.
Okay.
Landry Shamet, Mitchell Robinson. Landry Shamet missed half the season. Mitchell Robinson missed 65 games. And
Right.
Precious Achua missed the first 2 months. Right? And then he
Right.
had Jericho Sims. So, we're not going to act as though the bench wasn't, out early in the year. And then later on, the
Don't get me
guys
wrong,
he
too.
had came back later. Go ahead.
And I also agree with the point. How you say like you're not just gonna find a Rick Carlisle, so this is gonna be a tough one, right? Rick Carlisle doesn't come off trees. He's one of the, like you said, what, top 10 all time? You said.
Yeah, to me, he's definitely up there. If he's not top 10 all time, he's definitely top 15. When you
Top
just look at
15.
his accolades, his
And
wins, he's
and
one of the
he
few coaches to go to the finals twice. Go ahead.
guess how many chips he only has one.
He only has
One of
one
the
chip.
best coaches all time. He only has one chip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
So
when you
it's not
when you don't get the All NBA first teamers and the MVPs just but one time or during one
right,
stretch, that's you're not gonna win it. And we're
right.
seeing it right now. It's 2-2. OKC's winning this series. You can't
Yeah,
go against history. You can't
no,
do it. But go ahead.
yeah. It's only
I don't
worked
want to
out
stay with them.
once. It's only worked
It's
out
only
once.
worked out once.
Yeah,
But that team was a hell of a team, though. Like, we're
yeah,
not going to act like that team was just a regular team with regular dudes, right? You had Defensive
yeah.
Player of the
No,
Year. I think Bill Wallace might have won 3 or 4.
he won a
They
few
was
of
the
them. Yeah,
best defense. They was the
best
best
defense.
defense in
Yeah,
basketball. Probably one of the best defenses in the history of basketball,
and they
right?
were all stars. You said four.
And
There
four
were
and
4 all
four All
stars. Yeah,
Stars. Yeah,
yeah,
that's hard to duplicate. And they had the great Larry Brown.
yeah.
Let's not
No.
forget that part. So yeah, it's a lot to that
To me, I can
mix.
see your point though. Like, hey, you didn't give them. Tibbs didn't get his players he wants, but at the
Right.
same time, I'm sure somewhere somebody communicates to him, hey, if you don't use your bench, you might be in the hot seat.
Yeah,
And
well, I'm not sure how true this is, but they said he and Leon Rose wasn't speaking. They weren't on
they weren't
speaking
speaking.
terms.
Yeah, they weren't speaking
So I
terms.
don't know how true that is, but it
I
makes
mean,
sense. If that is true, I can see why he got fired.
yeah. I
Just
mean, they
that
have to.
alone.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're not speaking to your general manager, you're not on good terms. You're playing, and then he sees like, yo, bro, I'm giving you players. Why are you not using them? I would drive me crazy if I
Bingo.
was him.
Not bingo. And that's the
So
rebuttal to me that, I
yeah,
gave you DeLon Wright. All those guys came back. You still was limiting the rotation, right? You still was stuck on stupid, especially in the playoffs. You playing 8 guys.
you can't make
I kn-
adjustments in the game. I
right.
mean, at a
And
certain
you didn't
point,
even give DeLon Wright a chance. Like, you
right?
waited until reportedly, not sure how true this is, the front office told him to play Shamet and Wright. That's what the alleged report is, right? So, but you could have did that the whole playoffs.
Or when you got him, like just see what in a game where maybe you're getting like your butt handed to you, pay him all. Like you play
Yeah.
players. I don't know. Do you know this definition of insanity? Like feels like Tibbs.
Uh-oh.
Like he's done
Don't
it.
get Trevor started with that.
you know, I mean, but
Yeah.
it's true. Like, dude, this strategy has not worked anywhere you've went. Granted, you never had a first team All NBA player, right?
But he had D Rose. But D Rose got hurt. He did have D Rose though.
Heroes. But I'm sure. You said minutes don't really impact injuries.
No, it doesn't. It's a myth.
Really?
We don't have no evidence of that. We have evidence of the contrary.
On the
I pulled it
contrary.
out. It was a report by the Guardian. And it broke down why that narrative is just not true. Even when you look at the Knicks tenure, if we just kept it on the Knicks, twice under Thibs, we had the healthiest, like one of the healthiest teams. 2 times under Thibs. The year before last and this year.
So last year was just like an anomaly because almost the whole starting lineup got destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, Randall, dirty play, got pushed down, right? Dislocated his shoulder.
Another
Mitch,
dirty play.
Joel Embiid, right? Yeah, just some dirty plays. OG with the hammy, right? He only played 20-some games at the time for the Knicks. Like, so OG, it wasn't like he was. It's not like OG played 70 games,
right?
So you can't use that excuse. Who
else? Fatigue is the thing. You can only run certain minutes.
But how are you fatigued? You're not even getting 34, 35 minutes, and you played what, 50 games? You played 20-something games for the Knicks?
Oh, I'm talking about this year.
Oh, well, this year he didn't get hurt. But I get what you're saying. Saying.
You're still going to get fatigued.
Was probably impacted. Right.
Yeah. I'm sure half of the reason these guys were making dumb plays in the fourth quarter, and you could see them, they're like huffing and puffing more than normal. They're making wild plays that they normally wouldn't make. I do believe this because they've been playing too many minutes from the beginning of the season. My only issue is then I feel conflicted too because he got us to the ECF, so it's like
got us to the ECF.
So, but I honestly don't like it.
It's tough.
If they're not talking and you're gonna keep using that strategy, it's not gonna work.
I want to talk more about Thibs, right? So the second question that I want to ask, right?
Okay.
Is I'm not sure if you watched the Roommates podcast. But
I've seen him on one of the episodes, yeah.
So on last Thursday episode, they were talking about the postseason and the loss and Coach Tibs getting fired. Everybody was waiting for that episode. I was waiting for the episode, right? Yeah. So when they started talking about Coach Tibs, they were very I don't want to say critical, but they did throw a shot at people that not Coach Tibs. Mm-hmm. They said that, you guys don't know nothing about basketball. Paraphrasing. If you're negative to Coach Tibs, and then they also said what Coach Tibs did for them in their career. Josh Hart said, he helped me take my career to another level. I had the best season of my career. He helped me transition in this league into becoming a starter. Jalen Brunson said, this guy's known me since I was a kid. He's been a focal figure, a basketball figure in my life since I was young. He's also helped me elevate my game to another level, being a 2-time All-NBA, All-Star, All-Star starter, and pretty much giving the praise. So that led to me thinking. I said, okay. So did the Knicks make a mistake by firing Coach Tibs? We've seen guys have career years. Karl-Anthony Towns, career year. First time in his career, All-NBA starter. OG Anunoby. The most durable we've ever seen him in regular season. Forget the playoffs. He didn't play well in the playoffs. But regular season, OG Anunoby looked incredible. I thought he was a defensive team snub. Did we make a mistake? Based on what Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson said, is it possible that we made a mistake?
It remains to be seen. I'll leave it that. Okay. To be continued.
To be continued. That's fair. It's a fair answer. So
I just don't think. Go ahead.
So better follow-up question. It says, that's a great answer to that question. And you know what? I will revisit that question later on. But do you see them progressing even further without Thibs? Do you think that there's another gear they can get to, or do you think they could at least sustain where they are, or will they have a drop-off because the great Coach Tibs is no longer there to proctor their development?
I honestly think these players are so good. If you got a good offensive scheme and the bench is not, you saw what they did. Imagine if he had been playing that bench since he got it. Like, they would have been a lot better, more cohesive. They were doing solid in those 2 games that they played for the Knicks. The 3 or 4 games, 3 games that they played.
Yeah.
So I'm that's what it gets me. Like I'm on more of the side of this was a good idea to get Thibs out of there because like and then they started experiment like you experimenting plays in the play. Like what are you doing? Like this is stuff you should be doing.
That was weird.
So
And you know what? You've seen it with OKC too, right? With Mark Daigneault, I don't know why he changed the starting lineup. He had the best team in basketball, right?
Right.
Why would you compromise what you're building? Right, this has gotten you to this point. Great, one of the best, the best differential in NBA history. Why change that? Why compromise that? I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
But you went back to it. You went back to it, right?
And look what happened.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying with Tiz with the double big lineup, I thought that might have been a short, being a little bit short-sighted.
Exactly. And then why aren't you? If you saw that's another thing that drove the fans crazy. Precious was doing good against Siakam.
Right.
Why are you not? You know what I mean? Like those little things.
Got him to lose his job.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let you get your final thoughts out, brother.
Oh yeah, because I do have to go. I wasn't even supposed to take this long.
Nah,
I was I'm gonna be there like 15 minutes.
You know I'm gonna let you talk. That's what the call-up show is about. The call-up show is about you guys. So I'm gonna let you talk. But go ahead, brother.
I appreciate that. I get on here and start talking and talk longer than I expect. I'm still positive about what the future holds for the Knicks. I do think, honestly, if the guy can just, because I want you to get players like who, if we could keep it like somewhat cohesive with what they got right now, right?
Yeah.
If you don't move too much players, right? Keep it relatively the same, unless you can get Giannis. If you can get Giannis, anybody, like I'm agree with you, anybody's up. But
hey man, go ahead. Let me shut up. Go ahead.
But yeah, we just need somebody who will, I think they have an idea of how to play now, right? So you just got to get somebody who will develop a bench, and I think they can. Because recently, I know history didn't show, but recently we've seen this cohesion, and then we get somewhere. We see with a new coach, like I think it happened with the Thunder and it happened with the Celtics. So recently is showing that it's different from history, because history didn't show that you needed a deep bench until the Warriors started doing it. And now it looks like if you don't have a bench nowadays, you ain't gonna win the chip. So things are changing a little bit. I'm gonna say that in modern basketball.
Yeah. So I don't have no contest to that. I think having a deep roster can only help. But thank you, Juan. I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you for having me up always, man. Have a good night.
All right. Salute, man.
Salute.
That's my man, Juan. I do got another caller. Keep the calls coming, 646-995-8389. If I don't get to your call, I always call back. And this is the only show where I'm gonna allow you to get your call off. And I also want you to answer my questions. By the way, I want to give a big time salute to that super chat by LD. He says last 5 years, team assists, bench minutes, pick and roll for roll man, dead last in 3 categories. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Jalen and Hart had it. He had to go. It's 2025, 1996. I do agree, LD, with the fact that the pick and roll is something that you got to do more. Right, it makes Brunson's life easier. It makes Towns like I that right there. I agree with that, man. And also improving the bench. Yeah, you need a bench. You definitely need a bench. But let me see if I get this person back on the line. 323 calling you back. Hopefully you answer.
Nope.
Hello, caller. State your name. Where you calling from?
Yeah, what's LD? You just read my chat. I'm from Cali.
Oh man, salute, man. Cali, man. What's going on, brother?
I'm Gucci. I heard the conversation I was having about Tom Thibodeau. Was it a mistake?
Okay.
No.
No, hold on, but let me hold on. Let me preface it. I'm not sure if you watched the Roommates podcast, but JB and Josh Hart, they were pouring their heart out. They said how Coach Tibbs helped them get to where they are in their careers, helped them improve dramatically, right? We've also seen it with some of the other guys, Towns, OG. So based off of Coach Tibbs helping develop these guys and helping them get to another level, right? That's what the premise was. Was it a mistake? Because now, do these guys drop off? Do they continue in their development? What say you with that angle?
What would Obi say?
You
The
said
guy
Obi
that's in the
Toppin?
finals, right? Yeah. What will he say? The guy that's in the finals right now, who eliminated us 2 years in a row. What would he say about Thibs? We
Okay.
want to play the we want to play the tape. Here's the thing, right? I get what you're asking. Would they drop
Yeah.
off? That's a really good question, because if that's a coach that they like, obviously they would
Right.
play for him. That's a great question. They're professionals, right? So they've played under other coaches and they've given it their all. Yes, Josh Hart had his best years with the Knicks so far, but this is
Right.
also the first time he's really played this much. So
Right.
that's one thing. He's always been. I live in LA, so I've seen him play with the Lakers. He wasn't what he is now, but he was a really, really good player. Right? Everywhere he's gone, he's played productively. Jalen Brunson dropped 40 points plus in the playoffs before he got here. So they've done good things. And yes,
That's
they
a
played
fact.
really well under this coach. But like the stats that I put up on that in that super chat, there's just too many things that Tibbs did incorrectly that got in the way. The dude who just got off the call right now said something about the bench. He's absolutely right, especially under this new CBA. If you're not using the bench, you're not winning. Point blank.
Facts.
There's
Facts,
just no way around it. And the thing that I've always communicated with Knicks fans is the head of the snake that's done the best thing for the Knicks is Leon Rose in his front office. They've always given Tibbs a respectable bench. At one point, Knicks fans were calling a bench with Hartenstein, Hart, Quickly, Obi, not enough. Folks wanted
That's
to trade
true.
them.
And that
That's
was a
facts.
fire bench.
Exactly. And McBride. They wanted to trade them for like DeJounte Murray or something. It's like Leon Rose is giving him a bench. He just doesn't use it, which is a problem. You cannot get away with not using the bench these days. I wish him luck. He was a really, 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 really good coach. What I do worry about, though, I was expecting us to have a coaching replacement after how quickly we fired him. That's what I worry about.
So hold on. Let me preface this question. I'm glad you shifted gears there, because for me, and this is for me personally, all right, no one has to agree with me. I'm the objective fan. I'm looking at things from maybe a bigger picture than everybody else. For me personally, Leon Rose is on the hot seat. And the one main reason why he's on the hot seat for me is because he said our singular focus is a championship. So I'm expecting a championship. I don't want to hear no other excuse.
100%.
But based on the recent, us asking teams, can we, take over their block, get their coach and could we speak to your coach, and being denied as many times as we've been denied every single time, right? Is this a move of desperation, or is it a calculated move by Leon Rose?
I think it's both. But here's where I want to add to that, though. It's a really, really good question. And the first thing that I will say is the main reason why I'm worried why we haven't found a coach yet is because, in my opinion, it's very unlike Leon. Leon is a very, very calculated guy. And I bring that up because I hope Dolan is not involved in this, right? I hope Dolan is not involved. But here's the thing, though. Was it a desperation move? It is possible, but it was necessary. Because if we're being realistic, the first round we played Detroit. We are ranked 4th highest payroll. Detroit is dead last. We won the entire series by like 6 points. We're not supposed to struggle against Detroit. I don't care how good they are.
It's a fact.
We're not supposed to struggle. So I think he honestly lost their confidence in that series. Then we go to Boston and we do some magical stuff. We're down 20 every game. For real. We're down 20 every game. It's magical. Down 20 every game. And also, Boston literally went 25 for 100 from 3 in the first 2 games. And
that's
75%.
Crazy.
Right. And 75% of those shots were open shots.
Yes.
So, yes, we could say we beat Boston because we bullied them. Great series. But I don't think we watched any series this year under the Knicks, and we're confident that we knew what we were really looking at. It looked like 3 different teams in each series, right? So I think they were already kind of looking at him like, yeah, let's see what this team can do. Let's see if we can get an identity. Also, another important thing, I don't know if you caught Jeff Teague and his brother talking about Thibs. Did you catch that?
Yes, I seen the clip.
Right, where they said Tom Thibodeau basically runs a one-man show. None of his coaches get to say anything. It's like, yo, bro, in this day and age, bruh, the NBA runs more like the NFL when it comes to coaching. Everybody has
That's
input.
a fact.
You know what I'm saying? You got to collaborate.
That's why the staff is so big. You got like 10 coaches.
And it's not just not just the main roster. It goes all the way down to Westchester. Like everybody has to be involved in the development. If I'm going to send Tyler Kolek to the G League, I need to know exactly what he's doing. So when I call him up, I know exactly how to use him. So I think it was necessary. I highly doubt Leon wanted it to get to this because that's his boy. But nonetheless, when he's looking at the landscape of the league and he's looking at how, here's what I think was the kicker, in my opinion. I know this is not it, but the way we lost that game with Obi being the closeout, who literally on defense and offense put the dagger in us, that was it.
Yeah, that right there. Oh my God. And you know what? To give Leon some credit, because I love Leon Rose. All right, listen.
Right.
The guy, I've been defending him his whole tenure here. I got videos. I said he should have been GM of the year. I mean, that's my guy. He's on my hot seat, but he's still my guy. And I'm going to say,
on the hot seat, though.
Right. He's definitely on the hot seat.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. The reason why I'm going to say it's calculated because I don't think that they really wanted to fire Thibs. But I think what put it over the top, because I did a podcast breaking down every single news article talking about Thibs firing. The player input, when the players was throwing him under the bus, I really believe that's what made them say, yeah, he has to get up out of here. And they probably wasn't prepared to get rid of him right then and there at that moment. That's why we don't have another coach. Right. That's why we don't. Right. That's why the search is so extensive.
Right.
Because I don't think in that moment they wanted to do it. I think they was going to actually probably give him a little bit more time and put him on the hot seat the beginning of the year. Right. Because even like to me, it's a better like excuse for definitely for me personally, because if we don't win the championship, I'm like, what the hell went wrong? But if Coach Tibs is there and he's dropping the ball and you get rid of him, I don't think no one's going to slam you for this next season for not winning it all. Because Coach Tibs, continue doing what he's doing. Go ahead.
The CBA has made it very, very tough to make slow decisions when it comes to coaching. If you look at the Nuggets, the Nuggets with 2 games left, where they were third seed in the West, they fired their coach.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. The Grizzlies were about to get into the play-in. They did get into the play-in, I believe. They were like a week away. They fired their coach because you cannot afford to waste a year. If you look at the Boston Celtics, even before Tatum went down, their next season was going to look completely different because they have to trade folks away, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, the next year is going to be a complete disaster, and who knows what's going to happen after that. So you can't really wait.
Bingo.
I do got a question for you, though, about the players who threw him under the bus. Who were the players specifically? So I'm assuming it's...
boy.
Right.
we pretty much took wild guesses. We kind of ruled out who it wasn't.
Mikal.
We know... Well, definitely Mikal. Because one of the players said the minutes and the bench, so I'm assuming that was Mikal. But I think here's what the deciding factor, and it had to be a starter. So it was either Towns or OG, maybe even Mikal, right? They said that I don't know if I could play for him another year. Now, if you sign OG to the deal you signed him to,
I didn't hear that.
Yes, that was said. I don't think I could play for him another year. So you already know they committed to Towns, right? You know they committed to OG. He got the 5-year deal. It kind of sound like OG-ish, right? Because Mikal ain't got the deal yet. Mikal still got to sign his deal, right? But those two guys for sure are going to be here for the long run. Yeah. So I think that put it over the top.
Yeah.
I think that put it over the top.
I heard McBride's final conversation was a little unique, where he's just like, and he's somebody who doesn't talk ever,
No.
So if he's complaining, again, Thibs did an amazing job. That cannot be taken away from him. But I just think it became too obvious. Like, yo, just these things that you're not doing it's going to keep costing us, and we can't keep acting like it's not. If we're looking look at the game that got played today, the ball's moving around. It's just you gotta adapt. But I don't know who. So who do you think we're getting as a coach? Who do you think is?
I do have a name. Mike Woodson. I think it's a good chance. It could be. I'm not guaranteeing nothing because Leon Rose. These guys are unpredictable. You just never know who they get, right? But I'm thinking that Mike Woodson, I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him.
Do you think that's championship?
Because, honestly, I'm going to keep it real, man. The coach, for me, personally, I'm not sure how long you've been watching the channel. But I've been causing a stir amongst the community because I'm somebody who understands that in order to win a championship, you need an All-NBA first team or MVP. And the fact that we hadn't had one in 50 years, and but Ewing also was a first teamer in 1990. But when we won the championship, right back in 1970 and 1973, Willis Reed was an MVP in 1970. And it's not a coincidence that we won a championship that same year or around that same time. You need that to win. So we wonder why we hadn't won a championship is because we hadn't had another MVP. So I was for when Giannis was rumored to be available. I don't think he's available now. I was like, listen, man, we got to make the deal. So the coaching is secondary to me, right? I think you need the star player and you build around the star player. So that's why I don't know who's going to be able to come in and try to do what Rick Carlisle's doing. I mean, we've never seen it before, except for the 2004 Pistons, right? But the Pistons were a special team. They had 4 All-Stars. Larry Brown was the coach. Okay, they had the Defensive Player of the Year, and they were the best defensive team, probably one of the best defensive teams in NBA history. So, what do we have with this coach that's going to bring us over the top? That's why I'm like, Leon Rose, I believe in you. You're going to have to show me. And also, I'm gonna drop content on this. Jalen Brunson arguably could be the first teamer, and he should have been the first teamer back in 2024, but he didn't get it. It's unfortunate. It's a shame, but maybe he elevates his game under this new coach, whoever this is. But you need the star talent to win in this league. That's just what this league is about. And OKC is about to show y'all that. So if y'all thought Indiana was about to get this win, I'm telling you it's not happening. I'm telling you guys, they put up a great game, great fight. History is not on their side. Right? So
Indiana, I mean, it is what
so
it
yeah,
is.
that's my take in a nutshell about the coach. To me, it's secondary who's your coach. Right, you just need somebody who will get along with your star player, who could actually make some decisions. But ultimately, you're going to need that star.
What's important for us now is coaching. So we because again, the reason why I do like what Leon Rose was bold enough to do is he's put himself in the line of fire. Now that a coach has gotten us to the Eastern Conference Finals and he fired that guy, right, for whatever reason it was. He put himself in the middle of the flames, especially being the Knicks. Did. Right, because you could already hear the media talking about Knicks being Knicks. So you know how that goes. And he put himself in the middle. So now it is forget Eastern Conference Finals or bust. Championship or bust.
Championship or bust.
And you know what?
Left? I'll give him grace if he gets to the finals.
I'll give him grace. Championship, I'm sorry.
I need the championship. No, we need but if he gets to the finals though,
right.
I might give him some grace. Like, all right, yo, you did that. you did that. But yeah, you're right. I'm with you for the most part. Yeah, championship. But I'll let you get your final words, brother. I do got some more calls, man. I appreciate your call, man.
I haven't watched this channel enough, but I definitely will tune in a lot more. Good talking to you. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Next year, we got this.
No doubt. I appreciate you, man. I'm here every Friday, man. Every Friday I do a call-up show, 10:45 p.m. Eastern time. So I know that's on your time. That's what, 7 something.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, you good for sure. Yeah, salute, man. I appreciate you, brother.
No doubt. Stay out.
All right. So that was LD out of Cali. Salute to LD out of Cali. Hold on, I got a couple of more calls. I got to call back. Keep the calls coming. 646-995-8389. HIM, I see you in the chat. we in a good place. Why? Hold on, who's mad at the Knicks? Oh, you talking to somebody in the chat? Okay, cool. Hello, caller, state your name. Where you calling from?
It's Moses from Queens, man.
Salute to Moses from Queens, man. How you feeling, brother?
Well, I'm just look. We got eliminated by the Pacers, I know, but hey, only one thing we could say, we just got better this year than last year in terms of going far in the playoff. But
Okay.
Here's the thing, right? I'm not gonna sit down here and blame Tibbs to why the team didn't play well, but
Okay.
you gotta. I'm not gonna sit here and say, yo, Leon Rose, you messed the team up, but there's something I have to blame Leon Rose on. Like, he messed
Oh,
up.
okay.
He messed up. Of course, yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna sit up here and say he's perfect, because nobody's perfect. But what I would say is, he messed up when he let Hartenstein go, and then he traded Julius Randle and
Well, hold on. We got to pause it right there because, this is the Objective Fan Channel. Hartenstein was not let go. Hartenstein, the max money they could give him was $72 million for 4 years. They couldn't give him no more money than that. OKC came in and said, we'll give you 3 for 89. So 89 is more than 72, less taxes, and I could win the championship like they're about to win the championship. That's why Hartenstein left. We did not let him go. That was NBA politics that prevented us from giving them the majority of money.
Yeah.
So just for the record, so you can be clear. But go ahead.
Do you think that the Mikal Bridges, because I keep hearing the fans say it was the Mikal Bridges trade that messed it up? You think that was it?
Messed up what? Us not getting to the championship?
Us not keeping Hartenstein, not having the money.
No. So okay, it's a thing called bird rights, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when a player plays for a team for 3 years or more, you get what's called bird rights. So when your contract expires, the team can sign you for your maximum, whatever that is. 4 year, 200, depends on what tier you are, if you're all NBA star, right? So Hartenstein's maximum was for the Knicks because he had what's called early bird rights.
Right.
So early bird rights is, remember, you have to be with a team 3 years. He was only with the Knicks 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a player that's with you for 2 years, you get what's called early bird rights. But with early bird rights, you don't get to sign them to the complete maximum. You could only sign them for a smaller amount. That amount was the $72 million. So the Knicks could not give him more than that. Trust me, if Leon Rose could have gave him what OKC gave him, I think he would have gave it to him. But because that we couldn't do it financially based on the rules, that's why he went to OKC, because they were giving him more money. So that wasn't on Leon Rose. I just gotta, because a lot of people think that they didn't understand the politics behind that.
That's a stupid politic league messed it up.
It's league politics, brother. Yeah. That's what it is. I mean, even with like the Kevin Durant trade, that trade is going to be very hard for other apron teams to do because the Phoenix Suns are a second apron team, right? So there's a lot of restrictions that come with that. You got to match salary. So you can't trade KD for a dude that makes $10 million. You got to match KD's $54 million, right? And there's more restrictions, but I'm going to keep it simple. So that's why Hartenstein didn't go. But go ahead, brother. What else you was going to say?
Nah, I was gonna say this. I mean, bro, it's like it doesn't make sense for us to get Kevin Durant. I'm gonna be honest with you. At his stage of his career, I don't say I don't like him, but I'm like, hey, Kevin Durant's 37. I think he's about to be 38. What is the point of getting him at his stage of his career? Do you agree on that?
I'm gonna say this. The only reason why I would run from KD is because of the politics that we were just talking about, and the fact of the matter is, I can't do like, all right, KD makes $53 million, Mikal Bridges makes 25. Let's do the deal and give Phoenix the Suns some exception money, which is basically anytime you got a lopsided trade like that. If a team is not an apron team, the Suns will get exception money to make for the difference between the two salaries.
Right.
But because you're an apron team, you don't get that ability to trade less salary for more salary. It has to be equal. So if I could trade in the perfect world, where there's no aprons, if I could trade just Mikal Bridges for KD, I would consider doing it. I think KD would be phenomenal, but I am not giving up Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. I'm not going to give a whole package up to match salary for KD. When honestly, they should be giving me more because KD is an older player, right? Why would I trade the farm for KD? It doesn't make any sense. That's why the trade don't make sense to me, because of the politics behind Phoenix being a second apron team, and I can't just dump salary to get him. We got to match. And then in matching salaries, you're going to have to give up, players that you probably wouldn't want to give up. So, no, I wouldn't trade for KD.
Yeah,
I would stay far away from that deal.
Yeah. I mean, here's another thought. What's your thoughts about Westbrook? I think he's not resigning in the NBA, I think.
Well, I don't know how it depends on how you're going to use Westbrook. I think that he plays hard. He's like a Josh Hart that probably is a little bit more athletic, even though he's older. Not really a shooter at all. I think that's the problem. So it's very difficult to run pick and roll with him. And with Jalen Brunson, you're going to need. But one thing I would say, even though he's not the greatest ball handler, he does give you another ball handling option on the floor. And more than likely, you'll get him for the minimum because nobody's going to offer him a real contract. But rumor had it there was some overseas team that wanted to pay him some bread. I don't know how true that is, but
you would, if you can afford Westbrook, you would have got him, right?
No, you could afford him. It's just that because so the Knicks situation is this, right? They got $8 million to sign 3 players. $8 million to sign 3 players. So if Russ says, "Yo, give me $5 million," he's gonna eat up your $8 million room. So do you do that? And then now you're forced to try to finagle 2 spots with $3 million, which is going to be very difficult to do because of minimum salaries. I don't know. But if you can get Russell Westbrook to sign for $3.6 million, $3.2 million, I think his minimum would be around that. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. It's going to be tough.
It's tough. It's tough because if he's going to be a nuisance in the locker room, because that was rumored to happen in Denver, right? There was some tension where they didn't like how he was being prioritized by Mike Malone and all these reports that come out. Don't know how true it is.
I don't know.
But that's my concern about Russ.
Yeah,
that's my. But I got a question for you to bring it back to Thibs, right?
Right.
I'm not sure if you watched the Roommates podcast. Do you watch it?
I didn't get a chance to.
Okay, so they recently did an episode, right? I'm not going to, steal the thunder from it. But they did it. They talked about Coach Tibs, and basically they just, to highlight it, they said that Coach Tibs, helped them reach, milestones in their career seasons and things of that nature. And so, and they also got on people for criticizing Coach Tibs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you think because Coach Tibs, guys having career years, we've seen Towns have the best year of his career, OG Anunoby have a phenomenal season, right? Do you think that we might have made a mistake by firing Coach Tibs because now, potentially the next coach won't be able to get this production out of the guys that we've seen thus far from Coach Tibs? What do you think about that?
I'm not too sure about that. I think I would have
Okay.
probably, I don't know, would you probably give him, I think I would have gave him another shot due to the fact that he got them this far. But however, they were saying that he wasn't using his bench really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
right.
because remember, don't forget that, remember when Obi Toppins was here, Quentin Grimes was here, right?
Yes.
He forced them out. He forced them out of New York.
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say that.
Because they wasn't getting him.
Obi one. So you got to understand the Leon Rose tactic. So anytime somebody, especially a young player in their rookie year deals, when they approach that year right before the extension where you got to pay them money, Leon Rose trades them off. He did that with Knox. It started with Kevin Knox. Anytime they get to that third year and you got to get ready to pay them, yeah, you're going to be on the boat out of here if Leon Rose doesn't believe in you, right? Even R.J. Barrett, he gave R.J. Barrett an extension and still traded him. So when it's time to pay up, Leon Rose does not want to pay. So that's what it was with both Quickly and Obi, right? Obi got traded for the 2 second-round picks to Indiana. They gave him the $60 million deal. Leon Rose was not trying to give him $60 million because you got a Randall.
Not worth. I have to cut you off right there. He's not worth $60 million. Obi Toppin.
Well, there you go. So that's why he was shipped to Indiana. Huh?
Do you think he's worth that?
I would say I think so. I think that because $60 million only because the way the new deals are set up is nothing. That's chump change.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
but then again, I would have. What you think about Quentin Grimes?
I think the problem with here's what a lot of people don't consider, right? New York City is its own monster, right? It's the city itself is something that you have to deal with. And I don't think everybody is built to play in New York. That's why you see Quentin Grimes will go to another team and he'll ball out. I think the lights are very bright and not everyone is built for this city. So in saying that, Quentin Grimes was under a lot of pressure because he did get an opportunity to start. And, Dante wound up taking his spot because Dante, to me, always was the better fit. I felt like they were kind of, I don't know if that was another front office, give Quentin Grimes the light, but he didn't look good starting, especially when you compare him to what Dante was able to bring to the table. So I think a lot of it is these guys, to me, are just better off on other teams. And Leon gives these guys an opportunity to continue developing their career. All of them. Obi, Grimes, they all went to situations where they had an opportunity to show. Look, Emmanuel Quickly got a $175 million contract. He got, well, technically not more than Brunson because it was a 5-year deal. But he got a pretty, total money-wise, he got more money than Brunson, right? Not technically more because per year, Brunson still earns more. That was a 5-year deal. Brunson signed a 4-year deal. But those guys got opportunities elsewhere to thrive that they wouldn't have got in New York. And like I said, because I do think that Leon Rose has a master plan to stay in the first apron, right?
Mm-hmm.
So based on, all right, so hold on. So based on all of the stuff we've seen recently with us trying to contact other teams about their coaches and trying to have conversations with coaches that are under contract and being denied every time, do you think that move was a move of desperation or was it a calculated move? What do you think about that?
I think they should have not gotten rid of Thibs yet until they find another coach. That's one.
Okay, good point.
Two, I think that they should have. I think I would have given him one more shot to see. Thibs, would you give him another shot due to the fact that?
Yeah, I mean,
because again,
I think that. Go ahead.
But
Did you get it up?
Yeah, because again, Thibs had a plan before they made all these trades. Thibs had a plan. Like if the team would have stayed how the way they was with Dante and the rest of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they would have came back fully healthy. I think they would have been in the finals really. But what happened was, you waited to a week before the regular season opened. Then you traded your players, right? And then you starting all over. You understand? And it's like, damn, how can I start? It's like, bro, I can't blame them for that. Like, I can't fault them for that. I think I would have probably gave them another year to see how it go. You understand? Like. So would you give him another year? Because and then one last thing, all those teams are not those Knicks are not getting those coaches because those teams are not interested in the Knicks. Talk to Jason Kidd and the rest of them. So but I've been hearing a guy like Mike Woodson possibly might come back.
Right.
So two things. do you think that you would have gave Thibs another shot? And two, would you bring back Mike Woodson?
Okay, and then we'll wrap on this. One, I think that Coach Tibs was going to come back next year because the rumor was that Boston was the ultimatum, or that was the gold standard for his job. And by him getting past the Boston Celtics, I think he would have got another year. But there was a lot of rumors that he had beef with some of the front office guys. There was another rumor. I'm not sure how true this one is because I don't really remember reading a report.
True or not.
But they said Leon Rose and Thibs wasn't on speaking terms for a while. Don't know how true that is. And secondly, but here's where the nail in the coffin is. The players threw Thibs under the bus. They said they didn't want to play for him. They said that he played the guys too many minutes. He wouldn't use his bench. So because of that, the player input is what they call it. I think that's why they had to let him go. That's why it was a mad scramble, because I don't think it was a plan to let him go. But once they went into those meetings and they met with those players, that's when they said they had to let him go. But and then what else you said? And then because I could wrap on that, I'm going to answer your question. I got more calls.
What's your thoughts on they was talking about possibly bringing back Mike Woodson. Would you bring him back?
I mean, at this rate, for me, the coach search is secondary. I mean, I want someone who could either make Brunson, like really bring the best out of Brunson and Towns and make them into all-stars, first-teamers, MVP caliber players, right? Or to give them the opportunity to do that, because that's what's going to be needed to win, right? Outside of that, I think that the coach, as long as you get somebody who's not going to mess up the locker room, I think any coach could be good. To be honest, I don't think that it makes that big of a difference. You have to get the right coach, though, but the right coach isn't like somebody who's necessarily, a name or somebody who has a certain experience, right? Like you could get a guy who got the most wins, but they could come in and do some things. But I think having the star talent matters more. But go ahead, final words, brother.
Yeah, because that's why they wanted Jason Kidd, because Jason Kidd got a chemistry with Jalen Brunson. But the thing is, one last thing, I'm gonna end it. Well, I forgot his name. What's your thoughts on Mark Jackson coming? Stephen A. wants him. So now I'm gonna close it with that. Mark Jackson. Would you bring Mark Jackson here? Would you give him a shot?
I love Mark Jackson. New York City, salute to Mark Jackson, but I'm gonna say no.
Come on,
he hadn't coached in a while. The NBA is a new NBA, man. But thank you, man. I appreciate you, Moses.
All right.
Salute, brother. All right, that was my man, Moses. Do got more calls. Hello, caller. State your name. Where you calling from?
Calls. Yo, what's good, man? This is James from Queens.
Salute, James from Queens.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Really bummed out that the Knicks couldn't make it to the finals, but it's all good.
Yeah, man, it's tough to. I ain't gonna lie to you, James. It's tough to watch Indiana really in the position. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna win, but it's still to see them shine. Well, it's hard to say shine. Nobody really watching it, but either way, I felt like they're in the position that we should have been in, and we probably would have been thriving in. But what's going on, man? I got two questions I've been asking everyone. I'm not sure if there's something else you want to get off your chest, or we could just jump into the questions. What's up? What are you thinking right now?
Well, you can ask me a question. I can get on my chest if I come up with something.
Okay, cool. Because this is the Knicks call-up show. By the way, guys, keep the calls coming. 646-995-8389. This show is for you guys to call up and talk your talk, man. I talk for I could do a 3-hour show with just me talking. So I want you guys to come up here and have conversation. So the first question I'm gonna ask you, right?
Word.
Now I'm not sure. Did you watch the Roommates podcast?
I did.
Okay, so
the whole thing
on the Roommates podcast, you remember the part where Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart was asking about was not asking, but was talking about Coach Tibs and how they feel.
Yeah. When their host, whatever, asked them the question, yeah.
Right. So, Brunson and Hart both said, he helped them to have the best years that hit their careers under him and this, that, and the third. And we've seen Karl-Anthony Towns, big bodega cat, first time All-NBA starter. I mean, not All-NBA. I'm going to say All-Star starter first time, right? made his second All-NBA team, had one of the best years of his career under Coach Tibs. OG Anunoby had a phenomenal year. I felt like he was snubbed for defensive team. So did the Knicks make a mistake by firing Coach Tibs, a guy who got the most out of the key guys? Did the Knicks make a mistake by letting that guy go?
It's a tricky question because when we first saw the news that Coach Tibbs was gone, I'm sure in more people than now, the answer was no, because we're gonna get a better coach, and they have a plan. Right. You know, they have a plan. Leon Rose is not a dummy. They did this for a reason. Now, you know, after 2 weeks since we got eliminated, it's a little different because the news are that the coach scene or the scouting for coaches, that whole scene is like a little bit different because like we asked to interview coaches and we've gotten rejected like 5 times.
Right.
So now if you were to ask that question today, as you are doing right now, but I'm saying like today, most people are going to say, yeah, it's a mistake. You're better off with Thibs than you are with other coaches that are not the first 5 that you interviewed already. Now, if you were to ask that question immediately, like I said, most people would have been like, not most people, but like more people would have been like, you know what? They have a plan. They're going to get the coach immediately. Now, I also don't know if it's also true. I don't know how true it is that the initial plan isn't still the same. You know, this Leon Rose is a very smart man.
Yes, he is.
We don't know if this was the plan all along. Maybe, I mean, you don't just fire Coach Tibs, someone who took you to the playoffs for the 5 years he was coaching, without a plan, you know? And for Leon Rose to do this, so one of the rumors were that he was doing this to get Jason Kidd because he has a great relationship with Giannis, right?
Yeah, I seen
now,
that.
you don't put all your eggs in one basket talking about you're going to get rid of Thibs to persuade Giannis, hey, look, we got rid of Thibs. We're rolling with potentially kids. Not kids, kid.
Right, kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey, this is a good team. That we'll give up Cat. No. That's, you don't put your eggs in one basket. That I don't think that was the plan, and I hope not, because that would have been really bad.
Well, like I said earlier, I'm not sure how you've been listening to the show.
Yeah.
Based off all the stuff that's been reported, right? And we broke it down on the podcast, right, last Monday. So one of the things that was stated, well, there's a couple of rumors, right, that Thibs had problems with the front office. Another thing, I didn't read this for myself, but somebody said, I can't remember who said it, but they said that he wasn't on speaking terms with Leon Rose. Not sure how true that is, but I think what really ended this whole thing was the players saying that they couldn't play for Coach Tibs, that he's playing the guys too many minutes, that he's not playing the bench. I really do believe that caused Coach Tibs to be fired, and that's why they don't have a replacement, because I don't think they was going to let go of him at that time. But once the players were saying, hey, man, and, you know, there's certain guys that's locked up for 4 or 5 years, right? OG Anunoby just signed a deal. Was he one of these guys? We don't know, because there was no names attached. Big Bodega Cat, he got another 3 years here, right? If those guys are saying, hey, we can't play for this guy, he has to go. So I really do believe that's what happened, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, okay. One thing's for sure, I don't think Jalen Brunson was one of those guys that
No.
said they couldn't play for Thibs.
Yeah,
if he was coaching.
for sure.
I also don't think, based on Josh's response on the roommates podcast, I think it was pretty sincere. I mean, they've had the. I mean, we've all seen that clip of like Josh, like in between the game. I think it was
Nah,
like
facts.
against the Nets or some shit. They were
Man,
the
that's
last game.
just heat of the
But yeah,
moment,
yeah, yeah.
bro.
I don't.
I
I think.
hoop, bro. It gets like that, bro. Trust me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
It's
Josh was sincere about what he said in that
yeah.
in that podcast. I don't think it was Josh. I don't think it was Jalen. I don't think it was Josh.
Got three
Apparently,
more.
apparently it was. They said it was one player. They said it could be more, but they
No, it was a
definitely said.
couple. No,
Oh, it was a couple.
one player. Yeah, one player said he's playing the guys too many minutes, not playing the bench guys. Another player said, I don't think I could play for him another season.
Okay, so these are legit rumors.
These are no. This is not even rumors. This was reported to. Damn, I got it. I got it. Hold on. If you want me to pull it up, I'll take my time and pull it up. But this was reported to the news people,
Because I
and
heard
they said they had sources. They said they had sources in the team that
Yeah.
shared this information with the press. So I was telling my man JJP NYC, salute to him. He was saying, "Oh yeah, we're tight-lipped. We don't share stuff with the media." I said, "Yeah, that was true up until this point because based on all the reports we've seen, man, I mean, they was just spilling the beans about this was said, that was said. Then they said that Dolan was running the meeting, right? And Leon Rose was quiet. Dolan was the one that was running the meeting. Not that he made the decision, but when they were interviewing the players, Dolan was the one that was like, handling everything.
Yeah,
So
and in the
all
beginning,
these
it
reports
wasn't.
came out.
That wasn't even the consensus. The consensus was that most people thought that it was Leon Rose. That was the
No,
one
no,
that
it was
made
no.
that.
It was him. I'm just telling you that details of the actual player review was Leon
Mhm,
Rose made the decision. I'm talking about
mhm.
when they had the meeting with the players.
Right.
Leon Rose wasn't saying much. Dolan was interviewing the players. So we got details of the meet. We got
Okay.
key details that I'm like, how the hell are we getting all this information?
Damn,
Because they're
but
talking to the press.
Dolan though. I mean, no. Okay. So I guess what I was saying before was that like I guess the general consensus was that Dolan was just going to abide to whatever Leon Rose said. But yeah, I know later
Yes.
on that it came out that yeah, Dolan was the one. But that's still crazy because Dolan, bro, I feel like my image of Dolan is like this dude is just the owner and he abides by whatever Leon Rose says. He don't give a fuck. But that's crazy when I heard that, like that was like damn, like this shit really getting this shit really getting out of hand. But I still okay. I don't think it's Jalen Brunson. I don't think it's Josh Hart.
Right.
Honestly, I'm leaning a little bit towards OG. I'm leaning a little bit
I
towards
think it was
OG
OG,
or
Bridges, or
McCann.
Towns.
Yeah,
Or Towns. Because you don't
Towns.
know,
Yeah,
you only know what they saying to the media. You don't know what they saying behind the scenes.
word. I agree. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Um. Damn. How you feel but I don't know what I'm not too updated on like okay, so based on what you told me, I think you know a
Yeah.
little bit more about the rumors because I thought I knew all the rumors, but I guess you know more. Do you know any like other rumors about like locker room problems? Because I heard
N-
that was a rumor, but I don't know
Nah,
who was
no.
actually
Only thing we got was they had team meetings. That's the only thing we know. Like they had a lot of player only meetings, more so
yeah,
than what was common. And they were
yeah,
discussing like, rotations, defensive schemes, all these different things. That's all we know as far as that's front. But like on the podcast, I think Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart are genuine. Like they genuinely like each other, the players. I don't
yeah,
think the issue was with
yeah.
the players. But I'm not sure if you look at the screen, right? But
Okay,
I
yeah.
got a source up here. It says a couple of the players felt like Tom Thibodeau played the starters too many minutes and felt that he had an inability to adjust, sources said. Another player, just to show you that it was more than one player, another player said that he didn't feel like he could play for Thibodeau if the coach returned next season. So we don't know who said
Okay.
what. But
I see.
yeah,
I only got the I didn't know about the first part. What stuck to my mind was one player as in here it says another. One
Nah,
player
it was
had
multiple
the
players.
I
They
didn't,
all
yeah.
spoke out. So, and during these meetings, Dolan. So this is why you guys need to watch the podcast on Mondays, man. I know I'm not consistent with the time. It's anywhere between noon to
Achua is
2
one of them
o'clock.
for sure. Achua,
But
100%.
nah, Chu is
100%.
a free agent. So it don't even matter. He up out of here. I also did content on that. Once
Yeah,
again,
but
man, you
he
guys
still
need to
can say
watch the
that.
podcast. Hold on. Real quickly. I got a
Yeah.
plug, shameless plug. Watch the podcast on Mondays. I go through all the hot topics. I went through all we spent like 20 minutes on this one topic, going through all of these reports about what they were saying. And you know, it's a great way to stay informed. Look out for the podcast on Mondays between noon to 2, okay? And yeah, we broke it down.
Gotcha.
Also, Precious is True, same thing. I met a guy, long story short, I met a guy who told me he knows his son is best friends with Precious Achua, and they had a meeting, and basically he was saying he was upset with Coach Tibs. Precious said that he's out of here. He's not even coming back. He's gone. Right? Now,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that Coach Tibs is fired. Maybe he'll come back. But I don't know, man. But I'm going to let you get your final words, man. I do got more callers, man. I appreciate your
Okay,
call,
yeah.
brother.
Yeah, I mean, I was just yeah, like I really hope they found a coach. I still feel like they wouldn't take the risk of firing Tibbs and then start interviewing a bunch of coaches and maybe getting one of those coaches. I think they have a plan in mind. Maybe these news aren't even actual real news. We know that Leon Rose pulls shit out of his ass all the time.
Yes. Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if, who knows, one of the guys that supposedly rejected. Oh, unless the ones that are, I mean, not the ones that were like publicly stated by the other team, of course, but still, like, who knows? I don't think that I'm really confident in the fact that Leon Rose did not fire Tibbs, or I mean, Dolan was the one that signed it off. I really don't think that they did that without them already having some things said in private and in closed doors. I really don't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
Yeah,
so.
it makes no sense. I mean, it makes no sense. You're giving up what, Coach Tibbs? But this is a business at the end of the day, you know? This is
I
a
agree.
business. You're not gonna do that unless you have something going on behind closed doors.
Facts, man. But I
Yeah.
appreciate you, James, man. Salute to you, brother.
All right, man.
All right.
All right, peace.
Peace. All right, that was my man James out of Queens. Keep the calls coming, 646-995-8389. If I miss your call, I always will call you back. Let me see what HR and the Great talking about. So Tiz was there, mastermind. Hold on. So Tiz was there, mastermind behind this whole team, down to the financials. Oh my God, you guys in the chat. Yo, keep the good chats coming, man. And hold on, let me see. Make sure I'm getting this in order. Trevor, if you out there, I'm calling you, brother. This call is going to be interesting. I guarantee that.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Greetings.
Brooklyn Queens in the house, man. What's going on, man?
Well, like you say, some of the guys were on spot on, but all you have to look at when you run a business, there's sometimes you have to give a little leeway. Maybe it's not your style, but you have to give the owners or the people that are above you a chance to see their vision.
Right.
And from what I've been seeing for years, Thibs wasn't doing that. I've been saying for years, how could this guy be listening to anybody and doing the same thing? Because everybody doesn't think the same way. So
Right.
his assistants had no input. When I say no input, very little input. So therefore, you're going to see it out on the court. There's no way it's possible. I don't care what business you are in. I did the trains, and I will make a move, and my engineer or my conductor would tell me, "Hey, Trev, how about we do it this way?" I said, "Fine, go ahead. This is the result I want. Let's do it that way." And guess what? I had a happy crew.
Right.
So when upper management has to continuously ask you to play the bench or do something else, and you just want to do it your way, you're setting yourself up.
And you know, Trevor, real quickly, if I could chime in, I agree that based off of some of the alleged reports that we had, where they said that the front office was asking him, strongly suggesting to him, hey man, you should play the bench, you should play the bench more. And I do believe that there was some tension between he and the front office, and he wasn't taking their suggestions, seriously. He was just continuing to do his own thing. And I think that the player input, though, Trevor, I think that's what put it over the top. You got guys, imagine, hold on, I'm going to put this back on the screen, Trevor. Imagine if Karl Anthony Towns said, I feel like I cannot play for Thibodeau if the coach returned next season. That's grounds for his job right there, right?
Well, because of course, you see, all right, let's break it down. Let's break it down. This is not the first time they played together.
Right.
Right? So if it comes in this time and say, yo, I don't think I can make it, there's a common denominator there.
He's out of there.
Yeah, it's a common denominator.
No, and hold on, real quickly. I'm not saying that Towns said that, for the record.
No, I'm just only saying.
Well, yeah, we throwing his name there because the player reportedly said that.
Let's go with Bridges. Bridges finally. It takes a little while for a player or a player that's already in the league to come and say, yo, we need to play the bench. It takes time. It doesn't happen in one game.
Right.
And there's a reason for playing the bench, because they're practicing against these guys. I keep telling people, I say, I don't think this guy watches them when they practice. And people say, why you say that? I say, look at the response. Look at the body language. Maybe he's around, but he doesn't really watch what's going on. These guys play against each other. Remember, the guys on the bench, they're trying to play for their next contract. They're trying to play somewhere. Even if they don't stick with the Knicks, I want to be picked up somewhere.
Right. Right.
You only have about a 4 or 5 year average lifespan,
right. No, that's a fact. And remember, I did the video on Precious Achua. I met a guy who said, Precious said, yo, this guy, there's no way I'm playing here and I'm out of here. So, you've always said that, and you've been on the money with players on the bench feeling a certain way because they're not getting opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
Just imagine you're a rookie, a guy coming to college, and you're praying, please, I don't care. I don't want the Knicks to pick me. Because you know what? I'm going to the bench and never seeing a playing time.
Good point.
Because why? Because of my age? Because I'm a rookie?
Make no sense.
Makes absolutely no sense.
And Trevor, to even piggyback on what you said, I got an unfiltered thought on the channel. Ariel Hukporty a blind man could see that Ariel is a better player than Jericho Sims.
Yeah.
Clearly. Why? Jericho Sims got 40 games. Imagine if Ariel got those 40 games.
Right.
Imagine. It just didn't make no sense. So
that's why I said that's why I keep saying for all this time. Apparently, he's not accepting any input. If you give 5 people a sentence to read, and they read that sentence, and then you come back and you debate that sentence, you're gonna get 3 different angles at least.
Right.
That's not. They're not saying they're right or they're wrong. That's the way they see it.
Not facts.
So Thibs did his own thing, and he didn't. This is not the first year. I've been calling. How many years I've been calling? I said this guy gotta go. He's not gonna take him over that hump, because he's gonna get to that position which he reached this year, and that's it. He's not good because why? Because he cannot make an adjustment. He's
Right.
stuck in his ways. Look what's going on in the playoff now. You think if either Oklahoma or Indiana didn't have a bench, they would have been playing like this? No. The bench is doing a whole lot of work for them.
Man, yo, Caruso,
Yeah,
incredible.
right.
Incredible.
Look at this. Even what's his name or whatever for Indiana. He's coming off.
No,
right?
McConnell. No, Nemo
McConnell.
start, but McConnell off the bench,
Right.
problems, pure problems. Yeah. Oh.
You
Nah,
think
you're right.
Obi could have stayed here? No. I'm not saying
No.
Obi's the best, but guess what? If you use him the right way, if you use him every so often,
Yeah.
look at his confidence now.
Oh, super kind. Yo, you see them threes he hitting?
This is what I'm saying. Look at his confidence.
I'm like, oh my God, man. I didn't think Obi had it in him.
Before, well, you know what he was doing? He was looking at the bench to see if can I shoot this shot?
Right. Nah, that's a
Am I
fact.
going to get pulled? The first mistake I make. Look at the game before. Obi started the game with about three turnovers, right?
Right. Still kept him out there.
Maybe it was on him. Maybe it was on the other people because I seen he made two of the same mistakes. So maybe the play was ready to go in the middle, right?
Right.
And then they pulled him for a little bit, and then they put him right back out there. What happened?
Yep.
He hit 4 3-pointers, right?
Nah, you're right. Yeah. You know, like the game of basketball, bro, like one thing I always try to do, because I still play, right? Play your game, bro. Like, don't stop playing your game because you think that, you missing or you intimidate. Man, play your game, bro.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's very hard. Look at Deuce. Deuce used to be looking at the bench every time Deuce go out because he wanted to know. Quickly did the same thing.
I was going to say that. Quickly was definitely over his, every time he heard a boom, quickly turned it.
Exactly.
That's a fact. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah.
And because you have no confidence in them. These guys didn't get there by magic. These guys got there because they could have played some basketball.
No, that's a fact.
Right?
That's a fact. Yeah. Yeah.
So therefore,
as much as I love Thibs, I won't deny his shortcomings. That's why I'm the objective fan. I'm not just on one side.
Yeah, I give him credit when he do something that's a little palatable. But hey, guess what? You know me. Get him out of there for the longest.
No, you're right. You've been consistent with that, and by the players coming out saying these things to the owner, it's over, bro. It's over for you.
All right. Look at this. I'm in the league. I'm trying to survive. You think I'm going to come up and say something about the coach? There's 2,000 people waiting to take my spot.
In fact.
So I got to chill. Even though I get over the hump a little bit. And remember a couple of years ago, every time something happened, he's a coach killer. He's a coach killer. Right? When you get labeled a coach killer, it's not easy unless you're a superstar or close, or at least a real good player. Right.
That's why, seeing this report, like, to me, it's like, whoa. Like, it was eye-opening for me. So that's why I said, Thibs had to go, because if he lost the locker room and these guys don't want to play for him, but it's confirmed. Like, we actually got real reports, okay, that these guys. The one player said, "I don't think I can play for him next season."
And that's extreme.
But that's not But also, Trevor, that's not a small player saying that. That's a starter that's saying that.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes.
That's a starter saying that.
Exactly. And I think
guys don't hold weight like that.
I think it's OG.
It possibly could be OG. Possibly, man. We don't know who, but
I really think this could be OG, because if you watch OG, he's not a guy that flares up a lot. You have to really get on his case for him to show emotions.
Right.
Even when he
Right.
score, where's his emotion? No big set of emotion.
He's
Very few
reserved.
times.
Yeah. He's reserved.
So,
He's
so
like an old school
trust me,
player.
when something get on his skin, he's to that point like, yo, I don't think I could be here anymore. It's not
Yeah,
working.
yeah, yo, hey man. But
I
what's funny,
always
right?
tell you,
Yeah.
watch player emotions. I always tell you, watch
No,
how
you was
they,
on the money. I'm giving you your props. You called it.
you know.
You called it. And you know, this is I got an unfiltered thought where I was talking about Brunson, right? The title of the video is Brunson Holds No Weight. You see this player right here, whoever that player was, they used their weight to help
Yep.
sway a decision. Brunson, he never does that. Why?
No.
Brunson, come on, dog. It's
No,
time for
but
you to
Brunson, no, let me tell you something.
go
Certain
ahead.
players does
Mhm.
not have that attitude. Patrick never had that. He was a leader, but he didn't have that in him. But Oakley will,
Right.
Mason will,
But like
right?
we seen okay, I don't want to go back that far because a lot of half the audience don't know the guys we talking about, right? Like that. Look at Jokic, right? Jokic said, yo, get me Russell Westbrook. They got him
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, right? What was my other example? There's another example of stars throwing their weight around. Like even like when you look at his dad getting the job, right? That wasn't because of Brunson. It
No,
wasn't because Brunson said, yo, my job should get the promotion. Get my dad.
no. Stud
No,
was
that
there
was
before him anyway.
bingo, right? And his dad
All right.
also had that position before.
Yeah.
But this player right here, when he said to James Dolan,
Yeah.
I don't think I could play another season. That's what you call throwing your weight around, man. Oh
Hey,
my
guess
God,
what?
T.
And that's why I said I think it's OG. Trust me.
It makes sense. It
If
would
you
make
watch
sense.
how
He or
if you
Towns.
watch how he plays the game, and even when the game is real tense, you watch his body language. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
doesn't care. He wants to win at all costs, and he just does his job. That's it.
No, you're right. You're right.
See?
I don't got I don't got no.
Let's head over to the coaching stuff.
Okay. But you want me to ask you the question? You want to answer the question? Even though
Yeah.
I know your answer.
No, but
you
I don't think
Go ahead.
I see people falling for a lot of stuff that doesn't even make sense.
Okay.
It comes like you're gonna ask Danny Ainge for permission. Danny Ainge is never gonna give you permission. Trust me.
Okay, hold on, man. Let me ask it. All right, and then I'll let you get your final thought on it. Hold on, let me ask you. I like this, T. I like this, Trevor, because I didn't know where you was gonna go. Okay, cool. So we seen the reports, right, where the Knicks are reaching out to teams to ask them about granting them permission so they could speak to these coaches who are under contract with the potential hopes of getting them to join the Knicks, right, or trading for them, right? So I got a question. Is this a sign of desperation or is it a calculated move? Go ahead, Trevor.
It's a
Now let's go.
calculated move.
Okay.
Thibs was going to be out of here this year anyway.
Okay.
Add the pieces up together. Right? He so happened to reach the finals for the conference.
Facts.
But he was going to be out of here anyway. The trouble started way before. But the guys and them being professional, they played the game, and they remember a player gets on the court. He wants to win. You next 50 years, they're gonna say, did you win? They're not gonna ask you how you won. They say, did you win? So when you
Facts.
get out there, you want to win. But the coach was going to be out of here anyway. He so happened to get to the finals. And look at the form that we won. Look how did we win impressively? See?
Boston, I would say Boston was impressive.
But
Detroit
guess what?
wasn't.
Boston will bring anything out of you. That's
Yeah.
has always been.
Right.
Boston's going to bring everything out of you, no matter what.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But other than that, look at Detroit.
Nah, Detroit was. I thought it should have been over
Before
5
the
games.
first game in Detroit, we were underdogs, technically.
Mm.
You
Why you say
understand what I'm
that?
saying?
But why you say that? I get what you're saying, but why you say? I want you to answer.
Because of the swagger. They're like, yeah, they're gonna
Oh,
beat
yeah,
the
yeah.
Knicks. People
Yeah,
that
yeah,
didn't
yeah, yeah.
expect would say like, oh, Knicks gonna lose, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
that's
tell
crazy.
me, where was the dominance? We're the third seed. Where was the dominance? We didn't have
Yeah,
it.
I didn't see it. Yeah, I didn't see no dominance, man. I didn't see.
Right.
So you think it? So you think the move is calculated?
Yeah. Because guess what? I'm asking Houston for Kid. Not for Kid. I'm asking where Kid is at now?
Dallas.
Dallas. I'm asking
Yeah.
Dallas for Kid. Look at the history of Dallas. You think they're happy about the Brunson move? No.
Exactly. And then they just
No.
traded Luka. You think they're gonna
Guys.
trade their coach? Come on.
Come on. What are we? Were we that stupid twice, 3 times, 4 times? Come
Right.
on.
Come on, man.
Even if we're gonna fire him next week, if we get a coach,
Right.
if we get a coach tomorrow and they fire him next week, they know they was gonna fire him, but they're not gonna do it until something happens over by the Knicks.
That's a fact. That's a
Right?
fact, man. Yep.
Then
Yep.
we're gonna ask Houston. Houston is up and coming. You think they're gonna let the coach go?
Hell no.
Hell no. So then they're
They
like,
might.
oh, the Knicks good act and they got rejected. No, come on. Use a little common
No.
sense.
Right.
See?
So it's calculated. I'm riding with you, T.
Calculated. Come on.
But
Now
look,
we have our
but
eyes
T,
on a certain set of guys. All right?
right.
We have our guys, but guess what? Here's what a lot of people doesn't understand.
Was
If
that?
the Knicks go and hire a coach the next day, you're gonna start hearing, oh, tampering, or this, that, and the other. Come on. Why they do that?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. I don't care who you
Right.
pick. That doesn't make
Nah, I got you.
sense.
I
right?
got you. I got you. Yep. They're trying to move in silence, make misdirection,
Right.
smoke
But
and mirror.
normally a
Gotcha.
coach takes time for you to hire, right?
True.
So now that you take your time, oh, look how long they're taking. Doesn't people understand it's the Knicks? Regardless of what the Knicks does, it's not good for a whole bunch of people.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. But T, let me let you get your final words, man. I got some calls to get up here. Yo, great point. I actually agree with mostly everything you said tonight. You was on the money. I'm riding with you, T.
Uh-huh.
Final words, brother.
Now let me see. The coach, I think we could. I think it's either Woodson or the coach from who was just let go just before the playoffs.
Jenkins. Taylor Jenkins, right?
Right. I think it's going to be one of them because here's the one good part about it. They can play offense.
Right.
We have
Facts.
players that can play some defense, But
Nah,
guess
but
what?
we are offensive team.
We are offensive team.
Yeah.
If I always tell people, if you block if a player blocked 3 shots, maybe he stopped 6 points, right?
Right.
But on the flip side, the other guy scores 25. Hey, guess what? Do the math. That's why I always said trade Robinson. You got to look at the basket. Even if you look at the basket 4 times a game, guess what? You keep them honest,
Facts.
right? So
That's facts.
I know a guy is never going to look at the basket. Guess what? I'm good. All I have to do is play defense for the pass. For the pass. He never attacking. He's for the pass.
And that's why the double big lineup was a mistake.
Exactly. Because he ain't gonna never shoot. We know he's not shooting. Right? So we're playing 5 and 4.
Yeah. Yeah. But so Trevor, man, I appreciate you, man. From Brooklyn to Queens, brother. You know how we get down.
Yeah. I guess what?
All right,
I was
T.
waiting. I was waiting. But guess what? Let me hear some of the other guys.
Yeah, I got some interesting calls because we got some people we never heard from.
Let the guys keep honest. Thibs was supposed to be out of there 2 to 3 years ago. Please, don't get tied up. he did some good. And remember, some guys can play basketball before they get there,
Right.
right? They have ability. It's just him to make the adjustments so their ability could be better, better distributed. You gotta take the team. When there's time, you have to make that adjustment. That's your coach. That's your job. Adjustment. And if you ain't
Right.
doing that, guess what? You gotta get out of here.
I hear you, T. I hear you, man.
Good night.
Salute, my brother.
Salute. All right. Take
All
care.
right.
All right.
Peace. That was my man T from from Brooklyn to Queens. Keep the calls coming, 646-995-8389. I'm gonna move a little faster on the calls because we got some people calling up. Keep the calls coming. Miss your call, I'll get back to you. Mike, I see you. I'm gonna come to you next, Mike. Salute to my man Mike Holland PA. What's going on? State your name, where you calling from, brother?
Son, you gotta lock me in, bro. I ain't calling
No,
you.
I know who you are. You the kid from Coney. I just want you to announce to the world.
I'm wanting to play with you, boy. What's good?
My man CI in the building, brother.
Yeah,
What's going on? Been a long time.
Yeah, man, I've been super busy. My daughter graduating and stuff like that.
Oh, congrats.
Appreciate that, brother. You know,
That's what's up.
just getting my life together, getting this fireworks done, bro. I'm a collector, so yeah, I just been all over, bro. But yeah, man, I'm back.
Man, so listen, man, this is a call I'm looking forward to because I don't know where you stand on these matters. So, I'm gonna ask it like this. I'm not sure if you watched the Roommates podcast.
I watch everything.
Okay, cool. So, if you saw the last episode, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson were talking about Coach Tibs, and what he meant to them and how he helped them in their careers, helped them, get to career years. Brunson, All NBA, All Stars. Josh Hart, he was the minutes leader. Him becoming a starter. This, that, and the third had a lot of positive things to say about Coach Tibs. And we seen Coach Tibs develop these other guys. We seen Towns had the best year this year, right? OG Anunoby had a really good year this year. Thought he was snubbed on the defensive team. So did the Knicks make a mistake firing Coach Tibs because he did a great job of developing these guys? What say you?
Everybody does a great job, but he still gets fired, right? It was his time, bro. He's hard-headed.
Let's go,
man. I like Thibs. Don't get me wrong. I like Thibs, but he's hard-headed, man. He's spoiled like a little kid, man. You gotta listen, man. He don't listen.
Yeah.
I feel that he should have used some of his bench, man. He was just a lot of people talking about Thibs is a great guy, but he is. But a lot of people I know that play ball still, they be like, yo, he's stubborn, man. Your boss is telling you to try something different. You're doing the opposite. That's like that. Come on, man. You're not trying to upgrade. But hey, it is what it is, man. You got to keep it pushing. Next.
Yo,
bro, I'm not here with the gossip, man. I don't want to hear. I'm not with the lady talk. Oh, I heard him say this, and that's a business, but I'm not into that. I wasn't in there to find out who said what. That's none of my business. But
I got you.
Everybody had their own option, But like I said, it was time for him to go in a way because he wasn't listening, man. Some things that he did was good. He stopped doing it. I don't understand that. Why did you stop doing something that was working for you? But you just like I said, it's old ways. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna do the old way. And what happened?
Yeah. Right. I know you don't want to deal with the gossiping, the Oprah Winfrey stuff. That's
cool,
what we
though.
call it.
It's all right. Yeah.
But I will say this. I think the reason why he got up out of here was because the players told Dolan, yo, I don't think I could play for him another year. He don't play the bench guys. They told the owner this.
Yeah.
And I think that meeting right there, they was like, yeah, we got to get rid of him. I really do think that's why it's now a mad scramble for a coach. I mean, it could be smoke and mirrors. They might already got their guy lined up. They just don't want to say it. Maybe. I don't know. But I do think those meetings was the catalyst in Coach Tibs having to go. Because once you lose the locker room, bro, it's over.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's nothing you're going to be able to do because these guys, you know, they're like, hey, man, it's either I'm trying to get traded or what we doing? Because this guy, he's just not it.
Yeah. And I feel that once the locker room starts speaking, it's a wrap.
It's over.
It's a wrap,
Especially if they go to
man.
the owner, like they go to
Yeah.
the boss of all bosses and say, yo, man, this guy, I can't do it. It's over. Especially if you're talking about start. More than likely, these are starters, not bench dudes, right? So
Yeah.
the
I
writing was
don't
on the
know.
wall for Tibbs.
I ain't gonna care. People gonna kill me in the chat. I don't care. But I think JB said, yo, I ain't playing for my godfather anymore. I think that too. I ain't gonna lie, yo.
Oh, wow.
I see the chemistry. I watch a lot. I watch. That's my thing. And I see the chemistry on certain things when I watch the game. I watch people body, and I see how Tibbs and JB Pops, they try to talk, but Tibbs be egging them out like watch all right, go back and watch a lot of games, but just watch the bench. Watch
Wait
how
a minute,
the
you
chemistry at
introduced
the
a
bench.
whole nother element. Hold up. We gotta really think about this because what if Rick Brunson was being undermined because he was the lead assistant, and now Jalen Brunson was upset because that's his pops. And he's like, yo, we got to get rid of dude because he not giving my pops no light. He not even listening to my pops is telling him, yo, man, that don't make no sense. Do it. Yo, that's a good point.
People got to understand. Stop listening. Just watch everything. Watch the chemistry of everybody. Look at the assistant coaches. Look at everybody. The chemistry is crazy over there, man. The chemistry is crazy over there. I don't like talking a lot, but I know a lot of people that's in the, they be saying like they be in the front listening. They watch. And somebody told me like, yo, I seen it wasn't no he say, she say, but the individual was right there underneath the rim on the home side. You know what I'm getting it from, but I ain't gonna say, and he was looking
don't say
at
no
the
names.
bench. You know who it is. And he was looking at the bench, and Rick and Coach was like not arguing, but he was giving advice. You know what advice he at that time they was playing, and I think he was saying somebody told me that Precious supposed to be in the game, put Precious in and take out Cat, but they didn't do that on that first time. But the second time out, Precious came in, and that's when he dunked on old boy. Precious dunked on old boy. You remember that game? Who he
Yes,
dunked
I know
on?
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's who he was.
Was that? Damn, who did he dunk
Precious
on?
dunked tomahawked on him. Boom! That's when Cat came out.
Was it Hartford?
Yes.
I can't. Yes. It might have been Hartford.
It was Hartford.
But
Hartford.
Listen, I told a story, right? And I dropped it on a podcast like 2 months ago. Because I be outside. Yo, listen, when I'm outside, I look like I'm going to the garden. I got Knicks hat, Knicks jacket, right? I'm always nicked out, right? Especially during the season. So when I walk around, people want to talk to me. So I seen this dude, he was driving a Porsche, right? He comes up to me. He goes, yo, man, I like your hat. So we start, that's usually the introduction, right? So then we start talking. Then out of nowhere, he goes, yo, my friend, he's best friends with Precious Achua. My son is best friends with Precious Achua. I had dinner with him the other night. And 2 months ago, Precious, he loved New York. But that night when he met with him, Precious said, I'm out of here. Thibs don't play the bench guys. He don't pay the bench guys. I don't know why I'm not playing. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and that's the problem.
So, hey, man, like, this is a running narrative. And then to see the report where somebody told the owner that, yeah, it was time for him to go, right? And but you saying something that's deep, man, that's some deep stuff right there. That's some deep stuff. Whoa, that's crazy.
Go, because I know you the library man. So go back one day and just watch a lot of games and just watch how the chemistry. And when that hit me back, I'm gonna hit you back next week, and you're gonna be like, "Yo, Sia, you right."
I'm gonna go back to that game because I know the game you're talking about.
Yeah,
the Precious dunk.
Yeah, the Brussels done. Go back to that game and watch the whole game and just watch chemistry. Watch a lot of chemistry that
Wow.
goes on. Rick Bronson got up and told and whispered to old boy Ed because somebody already was at the game. The front row was watching everything, but he egged him. He turned around on him like, "Oh, that's disrespect." I'm like, "Okay," and that's what
So hold
happened,
on.
man.
I got a question for you. I got a
Talk
question
to
for
me.
you. Of course, we're not naming no names. We don't do that in
we
Brooklyn.
know who it is.
Right.
His brother. And me and him is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I see him
Yes.
like every other week. Come out, But anyway, yeah.
But do you think all this coaching stuff, this search and smoke and mirrors, do you think that Rick Brunson is going to get the job?
Nah,
Okay.
he ain't getting
Okay.
no job. Job boy, he might say he might still work there. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't getting
Right.
no head coach. Oh yeah. As a help, maybe. What? All depends. All depends. But I know one thing about him. I ain't mean to cut you off, but I know one thing about Rose. They already had this plan. He played chess, not checkers. And people thinking, oh, he don't have no idea what he's doing and blah blah. Dog, he already know what's going on ahead of everybody. Like everybody didn't know we were
Yeah.
gonna get cat. Everybody didn't know we were gonna get, the players that we have. So
Right.
he just knocking on the doors like, yo, I'm giving you a heads up. I might get me a temporary coach for now, but when you're ready, come holler at me. It's like corporate. That's life, man. Come on, man. People gotta understand.
Yo, I like that. Yo, it's facts. And I also think it's calculated because, he's trying to disguise his move and he's trying to, it's always a out of nowhere, but not for him. He already know what he's doing. But for y'all, the outside,
outside looking in, they don't know what's going on.
I want y'all to say, wow.
Yeah. He wants
That's
that.
all.
He want that type of energy to help the Knicks be a franchise that people be like, oh, the Knicks is always doing this, the Knicks is always doing that. But end of the day, he's just looking around laughing at y'all like, yo, I'm in the trenches. I got people that's be in the trenches. So
facts.
He know what he's doing, man.
He know what he's doing.
Come on, everybody don't want to be happy with the Knicks, bro. Everything the Knicks do, I don't care if it's good, it's still bad. Like Trevor,
See, that I don't like.
Trevor said the same thing. He said the same. Trevor, I like the old head, the Jamaican dude. He cool.
Yeah.
But he
He from Trinity though. He from Trinity. He Trinity.
My bad, Trinity. My bad, Trinity, man. My bad. But yeah, man, he be speaking facts. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, but the things he be saying is true. Like
yo, he been saying this for a while now.
It's true though. He don't. Like I said, I don't dislike Thibs, but Thibs is stubborn, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Stubborn,
I think even if you're a Coach Tibs fan, right, based off of everything we're seeing, like, come on, he had to go. Like this,
he had to.
He had to go, bro.
That I wasn't seeing that, and I was like, Dad, come on, try something different out here, man. This is getting boring.
Yeah,
you gotta put JB in his place, man. He's scared to talk. Like, yo, pass that ball. Like, come on, you gotta say some things, but you don't say anything, and I hate that.
That's true.
So, I hate that. You're not being. I don't know, man.
Then somebody said, I can't remember who said it, but they was like, yo, he didn't even say a word to me. It was a player that said that. I'm trying to remember who said it. He said that, yo, Coach Tibs didn't even talk to me.
Yeah, he's stuck in his ways, man. He's stubborn.
That's crazy.
Man. Yeah,
like, if you're not even talking to play, like, listen, man, I know I'm not a coach, but, bro, one thing I know I would do, clear communication, bro. Like, yo, this is who I'm going with tonight. I'm playing 10 guys. And this, that, and the third. But, like, when you're not even having conversation with dudes and they sitting on the bench just looking at the ceiling like, why am I even here?
That's
like, that's
why
a problem.
I say, when you watch the games, maybe tomorrow or tonight, whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to go back.
Watch everybody. Go back, rewind the tapes, and just watch the bench. Try not to watch the game, but watch the chemistry. Everything don't happen the same day, but certain days, just watch the chemistry. Look how the assistant coaches be crossing their legs, chewing gum. They ain't doing nothing. They getting paid to do anything. Yo, I'm tired. All of them need to go. Everybody need to go.
Everybody out of there? Oh
Everybody need to
man,
go, man. Clean house, bro. Cause look, just I'm saying, no one helps nobody. Nobody does anything. They just
that's
Coach
facts.
Tibs, he old school. He had like he want to smoke a Newport. His leg is always crossed over. You know what I'm saying? Only person that like they were trying to do something is the I forgot his name. Is the coach, assistant coach for the center. What's his name? The old head.
Oh, Mark Bryant. Yeah, he be putting in work with the big guys.
He always outside on the floor talking to
Yeah.
chat or that's
he puts in work.
He very inactive with the players. But everybody else, oh man, you want some water? You want a towel? Like, come on, man, get out of here.
Nah, facts.
Talk to your players,
Facts.
man. You gotta talk to your players, bro. But I'm
No,
not
I agree,
stressed
yeah.
out, man. I'm not stressed out, man. Everything is gonna come out in a better way for the Knicks, man.
So how do you feel about Leon Rose saying that, yo, our singular focus is a championship? For me personally, this is for me personally. I love Leon Rose, but I got him on the hot seat, bro. Because
how you gonna have him on the hot seat?
I got him on the hot seat. This is why. Because if your singular focus is to win a championship, I need you to go out there and get me a championship, man.
How he gonna get you a championship? His coach was supposed to get them team a championship. He just like I said, he's playing chess, and the pieces are the players, the coach, and he can't tell them to do. That's why he fired him, bro. I can't put that man in the hot seat. I can't. I'm sorry, no disrespect.
I don't want y'all to put him on the hot seat, but for me, when you say this is our singular focus, how many more years do I give you?
Bro, it takes, all right, how long did it take Oklahoma City to get where they at right now? We got to stop thinking that politic right there, bro. It takes time and chemistry.
No, I hear you. I agree. The only problem is we in our 30s, like we 20, 8, so we don't got OKC 17 years to wait, because it took them like 17 years to get to where they are now, right? Because they started a franchise. I think they had KD early when the franchise. Who they had when they started the franchise? I think KD was there in the beginning, but
KD was there. Hard was West.
Harden,
all of
yeah.
Who else? Everybody was there. Even
they had the young squad, Ibaka and them dudes.
Yeah, they had a squad, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna put Rose on the hot seat. I can't.
No, I'm not telling y'all. I'm not telling y'all to. Just for me.
You? Oh,
yeah. I'm saying for me because you know why? Because I went back to 1958, and I'm saying I did the history of the league. You don't win a championship without an All-NBA first team or MVP. That's what we need.
But he needs to get that right now.
We're not gonna win.
Please don't say KD, and please don't say
no. Not KD, because he's not in his prime. We need somebody in their prime to win.
Who?
That's the history of the league.
I don't remember that history. This is a new time, brother. Look at Indiana.
They about to lose. They about to get cooked.
We can't
come
say
on.
that.
Kid from Coney, come on.
Me and you was talking crispy about them. He got smoked. So we can't say that,
but tonight
bro.
we see. But you watched the game tonight?
Nah, I was sleeping.
See, you gotta watch the game. I'm gonna tell you what happened. When it got to the fourth quarter, down the stretch, that MVP turned it up on them. Started getting into his bag. And that's what, like, when you go back to 1958, I did it on the last show. We went back to 1958. Every single champion had those quality guys. So Leon Rose. Now, my only pushback for us is that Brunson arguably should be a first teamer.
Yeah, he should.
Last year he should have been. Last year he definitely should have been a first teamer. I don't understand how you top 5 MVP voting and was balling out.
Thank you. That's I'm saying. This is politics, bro.
No, it's definitely politics. No, 100% facts.
They don't like the Knicks for the reason. I don't care nobody. The reason they don't like the Knicks because of Dolan. Dolan had too many people that don't look like
too much beef out there.
No. Look, Dolan got too many people that don't look like him. That's all I'm gotta
Oh,
say.
okay,
I'm not gonna.
yeah, all right.
Come on,
Okay,
bro.
I,
You see what I'm
I can see
saying?
where you're going. I
There's a
see where
lot
you're
of things
going.
that goes on. He's against the grain on the NBA. You
No,
see
that's
what
a
I'm saying?
fact. He's a
So
rebel.
I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna keep that there, and I don't want people like,
Okay,
oh, he being. Nah, I'm just keeping it a buck. You know.
I hear you. I hear
But
you.
I don't know. I'm not gonna put Rose on the hot seat, man. He's done something. He's doing something that we haven't seen. I haven't seen. And like I said,
That's
I've
a
been a
fact.
fan since '88, '87.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that from a GM. Every GM we had was almost a dub. You know that.
But okay, so he shouldn't have made the statement that our singular focus is a championship. He should have said our singular focus is to get better. You know what I'm saying? Because
No, we did get better. I feel like that if Tibbs would have used his bench the right way, like Trev
Mhm.
said, we would have been with Oklahoma City. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what we don't have a bench. Dog, you gotta utilize them people, bro.
I
You
felt
gotta
like we
use
had a
different.
bench, to be honest, too.
I feel the same way too, but you gotta know how
Yeah,
to use them.
you
And
got to use
Tibbs
them.
didn't use them.
Nah, he definitely didn't.
He,
He
he
didn't give
didn't
them
know
no
how to use
confidence
them.
either.
He don't give nobody confidence. Only the same old
Right.
heads. No funny.
Mm-hmm.
Have you given
Not
them?
facts.
Take certain players out and let them play. And you notice I'm not a basher, but I love basketball. If JB is not playing right, keep him out. It was many a times that the bench came and almost won the game. 2-3 minutes left. He take them out and put JB and everybody else, and we lose the game. Them dudes
Yeah,
is
he's
tired.
notorious
They
for doing
burnt
that.
out, man.
Yeah, he's notorious for doing that,
He
man.
does
But
that
yo,
constantly.
I'm gonna let you get your final words, brother. I appreciate the
Everybody,
call up, man.
yeah, everybody, be easy, be calm, man. We're gonna be good, bro. Trust me, man. This takes time,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right. I'm
be good,
gonna
bro.
chill out. I'm gonna fall back on Leon Rose. Just because you said that, I'm gonna
Yeah,
fall
but
back.
think about it though. Come on now, just think about it. You want Phil? You want Phil back?
Now I'm gonna fall back. You know why? Because also like seeing why he fired Coach Tibbs, like he had to fire Coach Tibbs,
He
right?
had to.
I don't even think he wanted to because that's his man's.
I don't care
But
about my man. This is business.
right, exactly. This has been once they go to the boss and say,
It's a
"Yo, it's a wrap. It's over, man." But I appreciate you, Ci, man. Hopefully, you call up. You know, I know
No,
you're
no, no,
busy
no.
moving, shaking, and popping.
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you. Just watch the videos. Go back and watch a lot of games. You've been watching the chemistry of the players, on the bench, and you'd be like, oh, yo, he's right.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go because I
All
got
right.
those games recorded too.
Oh
But
yeah.
all right, man.
All right, take out. Peace out.
Salute.
All right, one.
All right, that was my man Ci. Keep the calls coming. I'm gonna try my man Mike. Hopefully Mike answers. If not, I'm gonna move forward because there's some couple of more people that call up. And I'm gonna try to make the calls a little shorter because I know it's getting late, and I know people might pass out, fall asleep.
Voice message system.
Mike, he's out of commission. Hold on, let me call this other number, but keep the calls coming. 646-995-8389. Let me call this other caller back. Get him on the line. Size 9 Precious is good versus bot players with no skill set. Yo, Size 9, you on one tonight. But a player has a skill set, Precious is food. Oh man, Size 9 is on one tonight, man. Definitely, guys. If I miss your call, I will call back for the record. My man Mike probably out of commission. Oh, salute to George Bryce in the building. I see you, George Bryce. Let's be honest. Leon fired Thibs because fans got on him. If he would have kept Thibs, I think George. You know what? That could be true, George. But I really do think that it was the players throwing him under the bus. I'm gonna keep it real. I really do believe it was the players throwing him under the bus. In the meantime, let me get my man Yuri back up in here. I see he was calling.
Yo. I'm back.
What's going on, Yuri?
Nothing, man. Yo, CI, man. I love him. I love CI, bro.
Yeah, CIO. Oh, yo, honestly, he introduced a whole new wrinkle that I never even thought about.
Yeah, what was that about? Because I didn't know what he meant by it.
He said that Rick Brunson and Thibs had some communication issues.
Yeah, no, okay, okay. I can get on that, actually. Okay, so there was one moment, I remember it was game 6 of the Boston series. We were up damn near 40. We were up damn near 40 at least. Rick Brunson went up to Thibs and said, yo, you got to take the starters out. This was like nearing the 4th quarter, right?
Right.
And Thibs told him to fuck off, to F off.
Wow.
That's what it looked like. I got to look back at the footage again.
Possibly. You know what? I don't even pay attention to stuff like that.
He said something like that, though.
You know why I don't pay attention to stuff like that? Because I write notes. So, like, as soon as the game stops, I start writing notes. So I might miss that little sideline interaction because I'm always writing notes.
Right.
So
okay,
maybe I need to
keep. A couple interactions I remember, actually. The first one was that Boston incident, right? First one was the Boston incident. The second one was when they were getting blown out by Cleveland in Cleveland. And he still had the starters in.
I remember PJ Tucker made a face because Mike put that on the screen.
I don't think Dolan is back involved. It's been confirmed that this was a Leon Rose-led decision. And I don't believe that at all.
You don't believe that this was a Leon Rose-led decision?
I believe it was a Leon Rose-led decision.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe Dolan is back involved.
Nah. Dolan he discussed the checks and he was spearheading the meeting, not the firing. So when those players were saying, yo, we don't like this, and this, Dolan's like, oh, wow. I'm pretty sure everybody was like, whoa. You know, because to say that to the owner, that's saying a lot.
And if you're Dolan and you hear this, you're protecting your investment. I don't care what people say about Dolan. If you're in a meeting and Dolan hears that from his star players, he's going to say, yo, listen, you got to fight. You got to get him out of here.
Got to get him out of here. You know, but I don't even think Dolan had to say that. I think Leon was like, yeah, he has to go. And Dolan said, okay. Because, you know, it's a bad reflection on him.
Next 26 chance brings up a good point. Did Brunson secretly arrange for Thibs to be fired, but publicly play the part of his biggest supporter?
Yo, that's what CI was saying. CI was saying that. And I'm like, yo, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy. But that would really ruin Jalen Brunson's reputation.
It would, but we would never know it. We could only speculate. We would never know the truth of that.
Oh, yeah, H1 brought up another good point that I was trying to tell you. What about Thibs ignoring Cat hobbling back to the bench? He even turned his back on him. It was in a regular season for Boston and putting Cat back into the... That also, too.
No, but I thought Cat said he wanted to come back.
Cat wanted to come back in. Wait, H1, that was the game Cat wanted to come back in.
I think Cat wanted to come back in. Because they cleared that up, but was that a cover up? I don't know. But no, but I do remember Cat saying he wanted to go back in.
Right.
Out of his own
mouth. I remember Cat saying he wanted to go back that game. But yeah, majority of the time when there was that Boston incident, there was the Cleveland incident, they were getting blown out. Thibs still had the starters in there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hold on. I missed the super chat too. Salute to Issa Ortiz. My bad, Issa. You said shouldn't take time if you got an elite front office. That's what I was trying to say to my man CI. That the building days is over, right? Because Leon Rose publicly proclaimed that
he's trying to win a championship.
So that's what I'm holding him to. I mean, I didn't make up the standard. He made up the standard.
And
so I'm just gonna
right. If you're Leon right now, you're going through the due diligence. I don't care what people say. You're going through the due diligence, right? He's probably got a big list right now of coaches he wants to interview, if I know Leon. Right?
I think he's calculated. He's calculated.
He's calculating. He ain't stupid.
Yeah, it's not a desperation.
It did feel like it
Because
at first, though. I ain't gonna hold
it
you.
did. It did. Honestly, yo, I ain't gonna lie. You know, me personally, bro, I don't even care about the coach. I really want Giannis.
Just keep the.
Think about it. Would the coach matter if you got Giannis?
No, yes, it actually would.
Okay. You guys would be like, oh, yeah, we got Coach Taylor Jenkins. Yay. Or you going to be saying, yay, we got Giannis. we going to win the championship.
He's staying in Milwaukee, though. He's already staying at multiple times.
Well, that's what he says for now, until the Lakers or somebody comes and has a secret conversation with him. And now, oh.
You know, you always get me with that secret conversation. You got me thinking now. Now you.
Yo, man, a lot of stuff is done in secrecy, man.
You know,
a lot of stuff is done in secrecy.
You're making me think Leon did some stuff in secrecy. You're making me think that.
It's possible, bro.
We'll find out what that list looks like. I do remember the report saying he's got a list, right? Officially.
He's like Santa Claus. He got a list and he's checking it twice. Trying to find out who's naughty or nice.
You know who coach is going to be, honestly? I'm not going to say it's Mark Jackson because Mark Jackson's never going to get the spot. I don't think it's going to be Johnny Bryant, right? I'll be shocked if it's Johnny Bryant for a couple of reasons, right? Because they said they wanted to win a championship. They're going to get a championship coach. That's the pattern, right? But we don't know. I do want, if there is one guy I do want on the coach, it's Chris Quinn from Miami. I like Chris Quinn. But if there's a dream coach I want,
it's Quinn, okay.
It's Eric Spoelstra. Think Eric Spoelstra.
Why? I mean, listen, man, I had this conversation with my dad earlier. I said, yo, why do y'all think Eric Spoelstra is a great coach? Why do you think he's a great coach?
He's been in the league for a long time.
But that makes him a great coach? What has he done without LeBron James and D Wade? Went to the finals twice. He didn't win. Didn't win. And in fact, when he went to the finals, he got cooked. Wasn't even competitive. And in fact, if you really want to get technical, I mean, Giannis was hurt. He played against a whole bunch of injured teams. I hate to use the injury as an excuse, but why? How else do you explain you get to the? So like, even look at Indiana. They fighting with OKC right now. You can say Indiana beat teams with injuries. Okay, cool, but they fighting right now in the finals. Miami got they got destroyed in the finals.
I remember. Was it a sweep or was it a gentleman's sweep?
I think it was a gentleman's sweep. The second one. The first, hold on, we live in research mode, right? We can pull it up. But keep the calls coming, y'all. 646-995-8389.
I really want to know who said that who couldn't play Tom Thibodeau, who couldn't play with Thibs for one more season. That's got me curious.
I don't know. We'll never know. But
yeah, closure agreements, right?
What we know, it was a starter for sure that said that.
I don't want to say it was Mikal, but my mind would say Mikal.
I think Mikal said the minutes comment. I'm not sure about the I won't play for him. I think Mikal for sure said the minutes.
OG?
It could be OG. You just never know, man.
Listen, if there's one thing you want to know about players, they never want to have the Coach Killer label on them. Never.
Hold on, what am I looking at? I'm looking up the Heat. Why am I on the Knicks?
Yeah. Colin, if there's one thing I can tell you straight up, nobody wants a Coach Killer label on them in the NBA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what that does if you have a Coach Killer label, right? It's not.
Well, I mean, it depends on how good you are. Hold on. Right. So they lost in the finals. I think this was definitely in 5 games. Let me see. No, this was actually no. Okay, they did go 6 games with the Lakers. This was the bubble ring. All right, if you want to give him credit for that. Yeah, Jimmy did ball out, though, in this finals. He definitely balled out.
See, I got me really thinking now about Thibs now. Because now it's like, I went from defending him, right, to like wanting him fired, right? It was an up and down journey to me, right, Corin? You know, I'm pretty sure I've stated on the call, right? I've been on.
What, you said it was up and down what?
It was up and down. It was up and down when Thibs was on the coach. You know what I mean? And
It was definitely more ups than downs. I will say that.
yeah, if
But when you lose your locker room
that's a
and
different
star
story.
players are saying, "Yo, you gotta go, you gotta go," that's when he gotta go. Like
You know,
period. Like you can't continue to coach.
people want to say he got done dirty. We could say that, Corn. He did get done dirty. It's not. I didn't expect him to get fired on the fine.
But he got he got done dirty by the players.
That's
They
what it
threw
was.
him under the bus. The players definitely threw him under the bus. So I don't know. I mean, he had to go. Yeah, it's that simple. He had to go. He had to get fired. The Spo draft as well. I don't know if Spo drafts. I don't know what Miami process is, but all I'm saying is Eric Spoelstra, yeah, he went to the finals twice, but he really didn't have a shot to win either or. And I guess my greater point is that you need the All-NBA All-Stars. That's just really what it is. You need the All-NBA MVPs to win. And,
Right.
He's not going to be able to take us over the top. That's why I don't really care about the coach like that.
Now, I got a
care
question
about
for you,
the
though.
star.
I got a question
Yeah.
for you though. What do you think the Knicks are going to do this free agency? Bench players?
Honestly, man,
The cap space is a lot left to be desired.
I really do think they're looking at star level players just to gauge the value. And I think that the Knicks would make a splash if available, if an opportunity presents itself.
If available.
If the opportunity doesn't present itself, I think they're going to come back with roughly the same guys.
Because here's
I
the
think
thing.
you probably see Shamit or Wright back.
Right. Here's the thing, right? KD's already out. The Knicks are not in the sweepstakes anymore. It's been confirmed.
Hopefully.
That's
Hopefully
already,
they're out.
it's been confirmed. The Knicks and the Spurs are not in the Knicks are not in the sweepstakes anymore. Ian Bakley
Spurs are the
confirmed
fact.
it. Ian Bakley confirmed it. The
Because the
Knicks
Spurs have got it, right?
No, the Spurs actually are not in it anymore. They came out and said that we're going to build around Wemby when he comes back. So the Knicks are not in it. The Spurs are not in it. Take those Spurs with a grain of salt, though. You know what I mean?
Nah, they're not in it. If they said they're not in it, then they're not in it. I don't know. Then KD got to stay. Suns are in trouble. What more you want me to say about the Suns?
Teams are left is the
cooked.
Minnesota Timberwolves and the Houston Rockets.
Hold on. Knicks will be chance says Indiana is 2 games away from winning it all without an MVP. There's been a lot of players that was 2 games away from ending. Jimmy Butler was 2 games away. What does that mean? You lost. You don't get credit for consolation prizes. We were 1 game away in 94. No one gives us credit for that. And we did have a first teamer in Ewing.
It's true.
Just wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. That's life. You don't get credit for almost winning. That's why when you say, oh, what Spo has done, he went to the finals. Okay. Did he win? Like the real conversation for me is going to be the star player. That's what it revolves around. It don't matter who the coach is. LeBron won it with how many coaches he had? Didn't he have 3 or 4 different coaches? Don't matter. Don't matter.
That's true.
You gotta, what I'm saying? That's the elephant there. We talking about championships. I went back to 1958. J-Tap called. He said, yo, you convinced me. I did the history. You're right. We went back to 1958. And we want to act like Indiana Pacers going to come and change up the apple cart. No, they're not. They're cooked. Trust me. Indiana's not winning this series, bro. And I say that without a bead of sweat or concern. They got to go back to Oklahoma City. It's going to be crazy there. They probably going to get blown out by 40. I wouldn't be surprised if Pacers get blown out by 40.
Yeah, no, I got it right here. The Spurs have rejected the Suns' trade proposal sending around Vaseline, Scott, Sochan, Barnes, number 14 pick, and 2 future first-round picks for Kevin Durant.
You said the pick too? They got what? They got the 3rd pick?
2 future first-round picks for Kevin Durant.
Oh, future. So not this year's pick.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
The Knicks have dropped KD, and the Spurs have dropped KD.
I don't think the Knicks ever had KD. I think they just was trying to have a conversation.
And it didn't work.
I don't believe that they were trying to trade Towns for KD because that's what it would take to get the deal done.
Yeah, I don't believe it too.
Unless you're trading Brunson and Hart, which I know they're not going to do that. You don't have a trade package for KD that makes financial sense.
Right.
So yeah, I knew that was cap. Suns are screwed. They stuck with, what's that guy named Sam Jones? They still with him too long. He should have got up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But not my team. It's not my team.
It's true.
This will be Chance says Leon got to improve his bench. Hire a coach to develop young. Listen. Lakers don't develop nobody young players, and guess what they got? They got championships. So listen, man. Call me championship Quran, all right? That's all I don't care about nothing else, bro. I need a championship. So Leon Rose, you better go with Worldwide West and sit in the corner somewhere and figure it out. And I'm pretty sure they got it figured out, right? So we gonna win a championship. I tell you what, though, realistically, I think we could get to the finals for sure because I don't think Indiana coming back like that next year. I feel like if the Knicks really build their roster the way they need to, even if they don't get a star player, even though I really want that, I think that they could beat Indiana. Like Indiana showed me like they're a good team. They were the best team in the East this year. But Halliburton, he's been stepping his game up. I just don't think. I think it's more of posing. Like I am an All NBA All Star, but I'm not really about that life like that. Because now they starting to score. He and Siakam has definitely improved their games in terms of like extra aggressive. But look, hold on. But down the stretch, look at this. 20 points from Pascal Siakam. That's not going to be enough to win. When the Pacers beat us, he had 3 30-point games. If Pascal Siakam cannot get above this 20-point mark, if this is his ceiling, they're going to lose every night. Tyrese Halliburton, 18 points, right? I think most of his points came, was it earlier in the game? Can't remember. Either way, 18 points is not going to be enough to beat the OKC Thunder. And I think, they only had, 2 20-point scorers? Like, 2 guys that scored north of 20 in 2 of the 4 games. You're not going to win a championship like that. Sorry, this is not good enough to win the championship. You don't have socialistic systems winning championships. We've never seen it in the history of basketball. We've never seen it. So if you think these guys are going to change the NBA, even if they did win, it's an aberration.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the norm. It's not the norm. Like, it's not. I'm just keeping it real.
It's true.
So I think that the Knicks next year, I know Thibs had to go. I was hoping they'd bring continuity into the next season.
I was too, but
I'm gonna say that they're cooked. I think Cleveland's gonna fall off too. Now, when I say Cleveland's gonna fall off, I don't mean into the play-in. I don't think they're gonna be as dominant in the regular season next year as they was this past season. They'll be a top 4 team for sure. But with Boston out of the way, Cleveland falling off slightly, Indiana is not a 60-win team. At least I don't see it yet. Maybe they might be next year. I doubt it. But I think Indiana will be like in the top 3 mix. Knicks should be the first seed next season. I'm going to keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis is going to stay put. Milwaukee ain't doing nothing, right? They ain't missing the whole year. They're not an apron team, so maybe they could convince Russell Westbrook to go over there. I mean, that'll be a nightmare. But I don't see Milwaukee doing anything major to really improve their team. Now, Detroit, Orlando are the 2 teams I would watch out for.
Oh, yeah.
Those 2 teams for sure have potential to make big, I'm talking about Julius Randle-like moves to add to what they got, right? Maybe Orlando won't get Julius Randle because they got forwards. Maybe they get, I don't know who else is out there. Maybe they'll get a trade going and get a Darius Garland, just for example. Not saying they're going to get Darius Garland. I'm just saying, like, they have assets where they can trade for all-star caliber. Maybe not first teamers, but they could add another all-star to their mix, especially Detroit. And I think Detroit will definitely be aggressive, and they actually have cap space. So whatever little free agents is available, Julius Randle, they could go get him. I think that's who they should get to. Hold on, we got another super chat from Issa Ortiz. This year felt like squeezing pretty flowers in the bottle. Okay. Squeezing pretty flowers in the bottle. You know what? Issa, I'm going to say this season was supposed to be the precursor to next year's championship. But because...
Colin, I got news.
What's up?
Executives around the league expect Wolves power forward Julius Randle to opt out of his 31-player option. 31.
Oh, that ain't news. So you said there was news. That ain't news. I told y'all he wasn't going to opt into that, and the Wolves are not going to sign him.
And become a free agent per win.
Of course, and he's going to go to Detroit Pistons. Watch him go, or the Nets. I can see the Nets convincing him too. Because the Nets got all the money in the world. And they're going to need an all-star. He would be a Net or a Piston, guaranteed. And if I was him, I would go to the Pistons.
100%.
100,000%. To be with Cade Cunningham? Man, shoot.
And you'll be able to have the ball all the time. You'll be able...
Not all the time, but he will definitely be 22 point scorer for sure. He'll get his opportunities. For sure. If I'm Randall, I'm going to Detroit. Guaranteed.
Who wants to get back? I think it's a long shot, and I don't think it will happen. I want us to get back Dante DiVincenzo, man.
Yeah, that's never happening, brother.
I know.
Now, hold on. It could happen. But you're going to have to give up Mikal Bridges. Are you willing to give up Mikal Bridges for Dante?
Oh.
No. So it's not going to happen.
No.
I answer it for you. No.
I'm sorry. I love Dante as much as the next guy.
HRM the Great says they'll be so tough with Randall. Could you imagine the Knicks Pistons next year with Randall?
Malik Beasley might.
That's tough.
Detroit, though.
You think I'm worried about Malik Beasley? I'm worried about the development of Asar Thompson, or whatever his name is, whatever Thompson it is. Cade Cunningham reaching another gear, okay? I'm worried, and Jaden Ivey coming back. I'm worried about that. Those guys. Jalen Duran, confident, double-double in the postseason. I'm worried about that.
Yo, I had a question. I got to ask you a question. Do you think the Pistons are going to be a problem next year?
I think them and Orlando, I wouldn't be surprised if both those teams are top 4 seeds, for sure.
So what do you think the top, without a coach? We don't know what our coach is going to be.
I hope we could maintain a top 3 seed. But I'm telling you right now, if the Knicks think that they could come out and not push Brunson to reach that next level, that doesn't mean him scoring, shooting all the shots. Dribble committee. I'm a part of the dribble committee,
Same.
but I do agree that it looks better when the ball is moving. Go ahead, be said.
Same. I'm part of the dribble community. Let's go. Listen.
Yeah.
I've been a part of it ever since, it started. I don't mind him having the ball in his hands, but the ball needs to be moved more. Let's be real. That offense was bad, Corn. You can't even deny it.
What offense?
The schemes.
You saying the schemes the Knicks ran?
Yeah.
Because they got a top 5 offense, so I wouldn't say that's bad. They got the highest offensive efficiency in Knick history. Most points ever in Knick history. So I wouldn't say the offense is,
I test why says otherwise, my friend.
Hold on. I do got a call. Hold on. I'm going to merge this guy in.
Who is this? Who?
Hello, caller. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, man? This is James from Queens.
Oh, you back at it. You want to talk to Yuri? You want to say something to Yuri?
No. I had a question.
What's up?
Okay. Wait. Maybe I wasn't here for like the full call on the podcast.
Go ahead. You said you wasn't here for the full call. Say that again. No, restate your question. Yeah, restate it.
Okay. How do you feel, or what do you think it stands the status of Giannis going to the Knicks? Giannis.
Oh, more than likely it won't happen.
It ain't gonna happen. Can't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's on the line actually?
Based
this
on
is
like
James.
What's up?
Yeah. Based on the recent news that he was saying that he wanted to stay with Milwaukee, right?
Yeah. That was
well,
recent.
not just that. I don't think that Giannis really wants to come to New York. See, because that was always the key to getting him. He would have to want to come to New York. Because if he did not want to come to New York, it'll make a Giannis trade virtually impossible because he's one of the best players in the world. So usually you don't make trades for best players. You rarely see the top guys getting traded.
It's
very
rare.
rare.
Why do he doesn't want to come to New York?
I mean, maybe because we hadn't won a championship in 50 years. Maybe because Coach Tibs, I don't know. He made a joke saying he would like to see the Euros in the big market, right? But this was his opportunity to come here, and he balked at it. So I don't know.
I mean, let's just say somehow Giannis in the next following days it says Giannis is going to the New York Knicks. How do you feel Jalen Brunson's role would change if that were to happen? Anyways,
Peter. He will
JB would he's
because
a team guy.
He definitely wouldn't go to the rim as much. Obviously, Giannis is a rim guy. You know. Do you think
whoever
that
the coach would be would have to run pick and roll sets because if it's going to be a situation where Brunson's going to be sitting at the elbow watching Giannis dribble and come off the 4-5 pick and roll, I think that's a recipe for disaster. But if they could work together, because that pick and roll attack would be deadly.
Right.
Deadly. It'll be crazy. It'll be sick. But I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either. There was a lot of news this week, though, involving the Knicks with the firings and stuff like that. So, James, I got to ask you, do you believe that Leon Rose is doing a calculated due diligence, or is this desperate from what you've seen?
He answered that. He called up earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he answered that.
Hey.
Wait, he was asking me?
Yeah,
he was asking you.
Oh, okay. No, I personally think that. I mean, listen, like I said, this is a business. Leon Rose. Okay, so we gotta think of it. Worst case scenario, right? Let's say that Leon Rose fucked up, right? we gotta think of it like
Watch the F bombs.
oh my
Algorithm.
bad. Yeah,
It's all good.
we gotta think of it like, yo, Leon Rose messed up, right?
Right.
Is that it based on his history with the Knicks and what he's done? Like, I don't think he messed up. I genuinely have faith in this man's intelligence. I don't think that him firing Thibs is like he didn't have a plan. Because what it looks like right now is that he didn't have a plan, and that all these, I don't believe that. I don't think that he didn't have a plan, and we never know what's going on behind the closed doors. So I mean, right now the talks is that Taylor Jenkins is going to be the coach. I don't know.
Can we get Johnny Bryant the candidate?
Yeah,
nah, please don't say Johnny
but
Bryant, please.
I mean, Johnny Bryant is still a candidate, right? I mean,
Because
but
CP franchise confirmed that he's
but
still got favorites in the organization.
but yeah, but we can't like assess Leon Rose's intelligence based on what the media is telling us right now, that like there's no chance. Like there's a bunch of coaches that have rejected
Right.
us. Like I genuinely just don't believe that. I feel like Leon Rose is laughing right now in his chair, kicking back like these motherfuckers. These guys don't know, you know.
Right.
Um.
Right.
But Tom Thibodeau. I mean, Tom Thibodeau. He played his guys a lot of minutes. I mean, I know Mikal Bridges went on record, right? Wasn't he one of the guys that
Yeah,
said
he did
he's
say
playing so many minutes?
he did say it. He said it, but it was overblown. But now looking back at it, it might not
And
have
maybe
been
it wasn't.
overblown.
Maybe it wasn't overblown.
What
Honestly,
do you guys think was the guy? Like, if you guys had to bet on it, who do you guys think out of all the guys in the Knicks roster was the guy was like, I can't play with the Knicks if Coach Tibs is coaching next year?
I would say OG, but it could also be Towns. But it could also be Brunson too on the low. Acting like I love Tibbs, that's my guy. But yo,
On
man,
the
I can't
low?
play for him on the low. Yo, the kid from
Yo,
Coney called up.
on the podcast on the low too?
He said that Rick Brunson and Tibbs had beef. Not beef, but they
On
had
a
a
pod?
situation.
on a pod.
Cap. When he said that?
So there was an incident that happened when right before Precious Achua got that dunk in the Boston series on Al Horford, where
Mm-hmm.
Rick Brunson was rumored to say, yo, you should bring Precious in the game. Tibbs kind of, ignored him and delayed it. But then eventually Precious got in the game and then he had that dunk. So he's saying that maybe, mistreatment towards Rick Brunson. Brunson was
That would make
upset with it. That's in my pops. This is a conspiracy. This is a pure conspiracy,
Right.
pure speculation. I don't know if it's true. But JB, I did a video saying that he holds no weight. Maybe this is him holding weight, but doing it secretly. I don't know. But I think it was probably more than likely. We say like usually the more logical explanation that doesn't require too much, explaining is the best answer. So more than likely is OG.
All right, let's say that there is, maybe this is a reality. You never know. But let's say we live in a world where that is a reality, where JB actually did put that input. If you look at the podcast that they recently did with Josh Hart,
Mm-hmm.
if you had to put your money on one of those guys to believe, I would put all of my money on Josh Hart. That he said the what he actually believes, because
Right.
in Josh Hart's case, he mentioned credentials. He mentioned like he took us to how many playoffs, whatever. He even mentioned that he upped him as a player and allowed him to exercise his abilities
He
in
did
this
say
team.
that. Yep.
And
All facts.
JB kind of said the correct things that you should say if you are media trained. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
glad you caught. Yes.
and of course, me as a not a firm believer that JB was telling the right things. When I was, I'm sorry, the true things. When I was watching that, I was like, yeah, like that's what JB should say, and it's probably true. But in a world where it isn't true, if you were to have to decide between those two, who said what they actually felt, I would probably lean on Josh, because he felt genuine. JB kind of said what he had to say to be like politically correct, and
Right.
it would it's still, I feel like, yeah, JB saying the true thing, but if I had to choose, it would be Josh Hart.
JB
No,
generally
I agree.
felt emotional though. At
What
the
is that?
same, JB generally felt emotional though when he actually teared up about Thibs. At the same time though.
Yeah. Yeah, more than
So,
likely they're genuine. We just having fun.
Yeah, we just having fun. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just like messing around with the idea that, like, yeah, maybe JB was the guy, but like, yeah, it did feel like a little bit like, where's the evidence? Where's the it's just political talks. Like, yeah, he's a good coach.
Yeah,
Like,
it's his
yeah, I
stuff.
miss him.
Because
I miss him.
also like Brunson and Tibbs go back years. He was with him every place they've been.
Yes, he kind
So
of has to say that if they did go back, right?
yeah, and no, not just that. No, I'm saying no to the genuine side. Like, we gonna get into
oh, okay.
arguments. We gonna fight. Like, we gonna have dissension at times. Doesn't mean that I don't love you. It's just, I'm coaching. You interrupted me in this moment, but yeah, that don't mean that there was this tension there. The tension honestly was between Tibbs and the front office. That's what we know. Reportedly, he wasn't getting along with some of the other guys. Now, I'm not sure who told me about Leon Rose and Tibbs not speaking. I don't remember reading that. Could be true, could not be true.
I
But
was 25, 26.
okay. So, but
Wait, is that what you're basing your notion that Tibbs didn't get along with the front office? A rumor that he didn't get along with Leon Rose? Because I don't remember. I might be misinformed. I'm generally trying to find out.
Technically, it's not a rumor when you have a source, right?
Mm-hmm.
That said that this is what it was. Like, they said that Tibbs was not getting along with World Wide West, and somebody, I can't remember the name of the other person. I could pull it up if you want. Just give me a couple of minutes. I stay on deck with the sources because I literally spent 20 minutes breaking down this whole Coach Tibs firing on the podcast on Monday. So based on that, but I don't think that's why he was fired. I think that when the players told James Dolan, like, imagine if Karl Anthony Towns, I'm not saying it was him, but imagine if he goes to the owner and says, I don't know if I could come back to play for this guy another year. And this is your guy who you're invested in. Coach is out of here. So
honestly, I can see that too. I can see cats doing that too. And you know what? And let's say in a world that is actually the truth. If I was Cat, I would post a picture with me and Tibbs sitting down like he did. You know what I'm saying? I would do that because I would look sus if I didn't.
That's true.
So,
hey man, everything is calculated.
It's like a lot of like things we don't know, man.
Yeah, of course, there's a lot we don't know because we weren't there, but there's a lot we do know based on all of these sources that that's on the website thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. Go check it out. The off-season edition, every single piece of news, literally, that was talking about this whole Tibbs firing thing. I pretty much have it there, and we went over a lot of it on the point guard on the podcast, right? So yeah, I mean, he had to go. Like, based on these reports, he had to go.
He lost
whether
the
how
locker
we feel about him,
already a depth
but
sentence. He lost the locker
Mm.
room. That's a depth sentence already.
yeah, that's exactly.
How you feel about Taylor Jenkins?
I like him. I don't think he's going to be the guy to be on the roster, though. Remember when that report came out with Taylor Jenkins and Mike Brown being interviewed? Apparently, Leon
Mhm.
got a list on who's
Mhm.
going to be interviewed. So I'm expecting that list to be really long tomorrow
Mhm.
on the next coming days.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, me personally, I don't really care about the coach. I mean, that's just how I feel. I know most people are not going to have my take, and that's fine. Because I'm looking at it from a broader lens. Like, I need somebody that's going to either make Brunson into a first teamer and really maximize the most out of this roster. I don't know who that person would be, but I'm trusting in Leon Rose that he can actually get that job done, right? But also, making the push for Giannis. If we can't, Brunson is not that guy. Hopefully, we can get the guy who is that guy, so that way we can actually be in position to really compete. Because I'm telling you right now, if you had Giannis on your team in that Eastern Conference Finals, I know for one thing he's balling out. For
Oh, for
one thing,
sure.
I know he's going
Man,
crazy.
man, even if you substitute Dame for Brunson on the Milwaukee Bucks,
Hey,
imagine,
whoa, 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 whoa,
imagine.
whoa. You said
No,
Brunson. Hold on. Dame for Brunson, where Brunson is on the Bucks and they
no,
do
no,
well.
no. I'm saying, like, just imagine if Brunson was on the Bucks and Giannis was on
Oh,
the
instead
Bucks.
of Dame. Got it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Even if you had Brunson as a substitute for Dame in the Bucks,
Right.
man,
Copy.
that duo would be so good.
I
You
see
know
what
what I'm
you're saying.
saying?
Yeah, I see. I see where your angle is. At first, I thought you were saying if we had Dame Lillard instead of Brunson,
Oh hell no.
then we would have. Yeah, that's why I said, "Whoa, I gotta shut this down before you even get it out." But yeah,
I
it's
will say, right?
mhm.
Damien's not going to be the same ever again. That's another thing. That ruptured Achilles that he has, no mas.
Was it on his because Gil always says from Gil's Arena, he always says, is it on your jumping leg? If it's on your jumping leg, then you're done. But if it's on the other leg, you can still have a career.
I think it was on his jumping leg.
Oh yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, if you can't use your jumping leg, even if you're not dunking, your jumping leg is how you make your move. It's how you get your first step. It's everything in movement, right? Your jumping leg. So
Right. I think it was his jumping. I gotta look at the surgery again. I gotta look at what he wheeled. But if it's just jumping leg, he's done. Like not even no consideration.
right.
So have you guys considered what players y'all would give up for, let's say, like a superstar like Giannis? Like, would y'all give up OG?
You want to answer that, Yuri, or you want me to answer that?
I'm gonna answer that. Why not? I'll have balls tonight. I'm trading Cat for Giannis straight up. You give
Yeah.
me Jalen Brunson, Mikael Bridges, Giannis, OG, and Mitch. I'm good.
Wait, you trying to Jalen
Well,
Brunson?
No,
Oh,
JB.
right.
I'm saying I'm trading JB,
Oh, the starting. Yeah.
starting unit. Trading JB. I'm taking JB, Mikael, OG, Giannis, and Mitch.
that to
Right.
me
What else?
that'll
What
never
else are you
happen.
giving up, man?
Exactly, because they're not doing that straight up.
That
You
sounds a
had to
little too good, man.
yeah, that's yeah. You think they're gonna trade a third teamer for a first teamer? Yeah, I don't see that
I
happening.
mean, you can have that, but like you better have no bench.
That's the only downside.
So
I mean,
ask me that question. Ask me that question.
okay, listen. Yo, the objective Knicks fan, what would
Yeah.
you give up for a Giannis? Let's say
I,
let's say everything is on the table.
I'm gonna say I'm giving up anyone, but not everyone. And let
Okay.
that register. Because when I say anyone, I mean anyone. Why? Because listen, I know we went back to 1958. You don't
God
have an
damn.
example. 1958. You don't have an example of anyone doing what we're trying to do. I'm sorry, guys. I know y'all want me to just be optimistic all day, every day, and I am optimistic most days. But the reality of the matter is, in order to win a championship in this league, you need those guys, period. It's not to say that everyone on the first team is going to win, right? But at the same time, you don't have no one winning who's not on the first team besides the Detroit Pistons in 2004. So Giannis is a champion. He's a multiple-time MVP. He's been a 7-time All-NBA first teamer straight in a row. Hasn't missed a beat. Hasn't missed a year. If you have the opportunity to get that guy, you go get that guy. That's the difference between us and the LA Lakers. The LA Lakers, they go out and they get the star and they build around the star. All that building and we're going to build.
Yeah,
Listen,
hell no. Hell
they
no.
get the star first and then they build around the star, like how they got LeBron. Then eventually they got AD. Then eventually
Yep.
they put a nice little veteran team around them. Then they go get a little championship, right? Now they reset the process because in 5 years, 4 years, they didn't get another one. So now, okay, let's go get Luka. And we're gonna reset the whole process because they're gonna get somebody else to play with Luka. Austin Reeves and all those guys are gonna be gone. They ain't gonna be there. And they're gonna get another superstar to come with Luka, and they're gonna show y'all how to win a championship. So while the Knicks during this period of time, we're trying to build and we want to get the bench and we want to get the coach. Those guys are preparing to win a championship. And then also now you're gonna have to deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who on the verge of winning their first championship. And who's to say that they won't be like the Michael Jordan Bulls and where they win 3,
Who
4 in a row?
are also very young, but
Who are
their
very
cap space
young.
is very short.
They cap, yeah, but no. See, here's what the cheat code. I'm gonna tell you what OKC gonna do. They got all them picks, right? All they gonna
Mhm.
do is do the Leon Rose. The Leon Rose is we trade you on the 3rd year
On the
of your
third year,
rookie
oh my
extension,
God, for
right? We
real.
gonna flip you.
Like, yo,
We're gonna
after
keep
that, you
flipping you.
done, brother. If you're not with it,
Yes, that's all they gonna do. They gonna flip these guys before they gotta pay them. They gonna pay. I think Dort
and
already
they're in
got
the perfect
paid.
position to do that.
Yes,
They got players who are gonna be worth a lot in 3 years.
right. So look, Dort I think is paid. Caruso's paid. SGA got another 2, 3 years. Williams and Chet is up next year. As long as Hartenstein. Hartenstein's out of there.
Wait,
This is
which
why I was
Williams?
trying to tell y'all. This is why I try to tell y'all. When y'all say Hartenstein got more money, that 3rd year is not guaranteed. And I know OKC is not giving them that $30 million because they got to sign those 2 young boys. As well as maybe another young boy. I'm not sure. I don't feel like pulling up their roster right quick. Bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you is that they're going to keep those guys together and keep flipping those young guys because they draft well. So they're going to continue drafting and trade those guys so they don't got to pay them. And that's going to be their cheat code to stay under the aprons.
Man,
And they could do this for like the
Hartenstein.
next 3, 4 years.
Man,
So, yeah.
I wish Hartenstein would have taken a little pay cut, you know.
Yo, come on, I gotta hop off, man.
All right, Yuri.
I am gonna end you up with this though, right? When it
Mm-hmm.
comes to the Knicks, whoever that coach is has got to maximize. If you're gonna run it back with Cat and JB, if you gotta maximize the offensive powers that they both have. to make up for the defensive liabilities they both can be on the court. So whoever this next coach is, right, you have to be able to capitalize both Cat and Brunson on the court together.
How do you fix that though? How do you fix that? I mean, I'm sure there could be a coach that emphasizes defense for Cat, but like I feel like certain times when I watch the game and I see Cat just like having miscommunications with other players with switching, I don't know if that's a coach thing, you know? Like maybe they have to talk it out themselves, because I've seen so many instances where Cat and OG they try to switch, it doesn't work out, they miscommunicate. Next thing you know, not Nemhard. What's his name? The other dude, the one that threw like 3-pointers in the last 1 minute in the first game. Neesmith, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't know if that is a coach issue. I mean, I could be a coach and be like, yo, you have to switch this way. And then in the court, you see Cat and OG like talking, like not talking, but like looking at each other like, and then next thing you know, Cat is like not guarding him and like switching wrong. I don't know how much that is a coach thing, you know? Like the coach can only do so much, but it's a lot of it that's in the moment of the time, and it's like a few seconds, maybe not even a few seconds, maybe fractions of a second that you got to make that thing. And if you have a good chemistry with your team, then you don't have to do that so much. You could just know exactly what's going on. Like, yes, he's gonna move this way, I'm gonna move this way. This is how we did it in camp. That's how it is. And that's the thing. That's the only thing with camp, man. Like I don't want to be in the semifinals. Maybe the finals, and then that happening. You know.
It's like,
Yeah.
No, you hit it on the nail, and you know, I hope Knicks fans see the vision that I'm saying. I'm not trying to just be a negative person, but I'm just telling you the reality of the scenario. You're dealing with a guy who's an MVP, right? And he's young, 26 in OKC. Those guys are going to be around. Yeah. Those guys are going to be around. I already gave you the blueprint and the formula. They're going to keep those 6 guys. They don't keep nobody else. They're going to keep those 6 guys and a whole bunch of young guys that's super talented to fill in the bench. So how do you defeat that? Are you going to defeat it by building and having a bench, a deep bench, and you want to be like Indiana? You're not going to win.
And you know what I've been noticing in this you watched this game tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You know what I've been noticing? These guys have responded to the fast pace. As much as Pacers have been pushing the pace, OKC has responded, and they've also pushed the pace. Every time you see a Pacer put a bucket, you see OKC immediately get the ball and push the pace too. This whole game tonight, that was the thing.
They both a fast-paced team. OKC plays fast.
Yeah, they play fast too. So it's the same thing with Indiana. With what we done with Indiana. So I mean, is one thing like having to worry about a team like Indiana or somebody else who's fast-paced team in our East Conference final or East Conference, but also like they're gonna be here for a while, and they can also do that. They can also do that for sure, and they got energy. Them and their home crowd, they got energy. Like I said, I think the first time I called in like a couple of weeks ago, when I was very optimistic about like I was going into game 7 or at least winning game 6 so we can go to game 7. I was like, yo, this dude Jalen Williams, bro. All these guys, to be honest, they bring that energy. They do one quick little posterizing dunk, they bring the energy because their crowd responds. So, man, but I'm not too pessimistic because I know the Knicks, they have they have like at least they have at they have at least half a decade, bro, of this window. Jalen Brunson's only 28. I know he's about to turn 29 this summer, but he's 28. Mikal Bridges 28. OG 27, turning 28 this summer. These guys are young, man. In 5 years, they're gonna be what, 33, 32? That's Damian Lillard time. That they're chilling. That's Kyrie Irving, and you know how Kyrie Irving plays. He's good. 30,
Right.
31, 32. He's good. We got a window, and we need to do it now. And I like the idea of Taylor Jenkins because although maybe Jalen Brunson doesn't have the hops like um John Moran has, but he's
Right.
as small and he's a playmaker. John Moran is a playmaker. Jalen Brunson is a playmaker. So I like the idea of potentially getting Taylor Jenkins. It's a very
Mhm.
similar kind of like point guard you're gonna be focusing on. So I'm not too pessimistic on this coach um search. I think
Right.
that I think Leon Rose is not stupid. He's not gonna be like, yo, let me fire the best coach and then maybe get a good coach, and then if they reject this, we'll get a mediocre coach. Nah, I don't see that. Bro, and would you be surprised if like in 2 days you're gonna see like, I don't know, like Jason Kidd. Oh, the news are, oh, Jason Kidd actually accepts the contract, and all of a sudden he's a Knicks coach. I would not be surprised if that happened. I would not be surprised if any of the news is like cap. I honestly would not. I trust this man Leon Rose.
So two things I want to respond, right?
Yeah.
I trust Leon Rose. Like, so I just got him on the hot seat. This is my own personal hot seat. This is not you guys. This is not the owner. I have him on my own personal hot seat because he told me that our singular pursuit is a championship. So I don't want to hear nothing about building up. I want a championship, right? Now, two.
Mhm.
So I got two sources. I got the first one here. It says, for the first 5 years, that's exactly what Rose did. Those who know him well marvel how Rose kept Thibodeau from spiraling out over minor issues, focus on the big picture. Thibodeau's tendency to wear himself out was fine, as one source put it, but Rose largely kept him from wearing out other people. Managing Dolan was a different feat altogether. Rose did that by earning Dolan's trust, right? So Dolan, that this source is just pretty much saying that Coach Tibbs, he was a workaholic, and even Jalen Brunson and those guys said that Tibbs would just he would only take one day off. He works 364 days. But I got another source here. Mark Berman.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Thibodeau,
Before you continue,
yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm.
that also kind of brings up an interesting idea that because he's a workaholic, right? And he only
Mm-hmm.
takes supposedly one day off, and he's very, very, very like work, right? That could
Right.
also give some incentive on his characteristic approach, in that
Mm-hmm.
he is very reluctant to new ideas, that he is very stubborn, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Like you
saying?
have all the
Like,
knowledge. You have all
exactly.
the because no one works as hard as
Exactly.
you. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like
Oh,
let's say you think that you are the best at something and you work so hard every day, and people report it. I mean, that could also, I mean, that's good, right? Like generally that's a good thing, but that could also bring some kind of like incentive about your personality that, hey, maybe you are a little bit stubborn. Maybe
right.
you trust yourself too much.
Right. So I got a report here from Mark Berman. Thibodeau is out, and this must crush Leon Rose. Yes, Tibbs didn't have the full support of the front office with Worldwide West and Brock Aller skeptical. The front office did not believe in him. I don't think that's the reason why he was out. There was also another report, I was trying to find that, where they was telling Thibs, it came from a report that said they were suggesting to him that he should play the bench more. I think this might have been during the Pistons series. But there was a report that came out that he needed to play the bench more, or they suggested. So once I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, when they start telling you what you need to do, you're gonna be up out of here. They preparing the grounds, because when you fail, they're gonna say, well, we told you this, and you said you didn't want to do that. See what I'm saying? So I don't think this is why he got fired. I think this is there. But once those players got up there and started saying, yo, we don't know if we could play for him, it was over.
Bro,
Yeah.
but even if you're not, like, let's say, even if you're not Leon Rose, like, would you fire him? Would you fire him without having any consensus on what your plan is after firing him?
No, well, see, here's the thing.
Like, it's crazy.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Like I think that if this was the only offense, maybe he would still have his job. But once the players say they don't know if they can play for you,
That's right. Yeah.
you gotta go, because now you're gonna have a locker room that's gonna be tainted, and it's always easier to fire the coach versus trading players. It's very difficult to just move a whole bunch of players because there's a bunch of them. It's not just one player. So you got to make your decision in that regard. And Thibs had to get up out of here, even though, that's his friend. That's his man. He was his client, So they go back a lot of years.
Right.
But this is business, not personal. See, that's what we got to really understand as fans. We're so emotional and we're into the game. It's still a business. So,
but, okay, wait. Let me rebuttal a little bit. Let's say, okay, let's say, I agree with that. But would you also, why would you do that? If, okay, let's say, yeah, the Knicks players, some of the Knicks players told you, like, yo, like, they need to play the bench more. I can't play with him, his style. If you're gonna have me next year, I can't play with him. Let's say this is the case, right? Why would you upfront fire him immediately after that without telling your players, yo, okay, listen, we're probably gonna move him, but we first need to get like a few potential candidates for the team, and then your players are like, okay, you know what? That makes sense. As long as you're firing him in a bit, and you find out who the coach is, we're cool with that. Why would you do that up front? That's my only thing. That's why I think that he probably has a plan behind all this. Because it's like me telling let's say I'm in a basketball team, right? And I'm telling the head coach, the manager of the team, I'm like, yo, I can't fuck with this coach. My bad. I can't mess with this coach. I'm not gonna play with you. I'm not gonna play for this team because this coach, I don't know, he just doesn't do it the way I want to operate this team. And then your manager's like, okay, that's fine. We're gonna find a new coach. Give us a span of like maybe a few weeks. We're gonna find, and let's see what happens. But then now but then now that team is doing the service to the whole team and fire him immediately after you say that, and then maybe finding another coach, whereas you could have been like, yeah, we're gonna find a new coach after we find what's up and everything, and then we do that finally. That's my whole thing. Like, like, it can't be like, oh, once you say this, yeah, I'm firing him. No, we first gotta see what's up, and then we fire him, and then find a coach. That's why I think that Leon Rose definitely planned this out, and he probably has some shit. Oh, my bad.
Well, he I hear what you're saying, and I don't think that they wanted to fire him despite the negative news. But once they got the players saying this in front of the owner, that's what changed the game. And I still think that even if they fired him abruptly out of nowhere, that they're still in a good position because they're the only one searching for a coach. No competition. So they can take their time. I don't think they should wait till after the draft, but they could take their time and see who's right based on what they're trying to do with this roster. So,
but can they do that without firing him yet? That's my question. Like, what if they did all this searching and everything before they fired him? That's the one thing that is making me feel like this guy has a plan and it will probably work out. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could definitely be like, you're out. Let's search for a coach. Why can't it be like, let's search for a coach, and then if it doesn't work out, then you're still in because we haven't fired you. That's my whole thing. Like,
it's irreparable. So like, you just gotta start from scratch. Like, you gotta just do it organically and genuinely, because they would not be able to come back to him. Like, the pivot is over, so we don't even want to play with him like he's an option. But I'm gonna let you get your final words, man. I appreciate you calling back, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I hope we find a good coach, man. Next season, we have to be top 2 seeds, 2 or 1, based on what I've heard. Leon Rose is not gonna make no silly decisions on the roster. Best believe that. He's not gonna give you other 2 or 3 other campaigns. He's not gonna do that.
I got you.
So I'm just staying hopeful, and let's go Knicks, baby.
Let's go Knicks, man. I appreciate you. Salute.
See you.
All right, man. Final call for calls. This was a great show. Salute to the chat. The chat's lit. Size 9. I see you, Size 9. Size 9. I didn't realize you was that upset. No, but Size 9, no. We're not making a move because the owner says so. We making a move because the player said so. Right? Hold on, where is it at? Yeah, right here. Let me put this back on the screen. This is Size 9. This is why it happened. So the front office, Worldwide West, Brock Aller, none of those guys was feeling Thibs, right? But Thibs is Leon Rose's guy. So it took the players in front of James Dolan. They said a couple of players felt like Thibodeau played the starters too many minutes, and he felt he had inability to adjust. Right? Another player said that he didn't feel like he could play for Thibs another season. That's why he was fired. Had nothing to do with James Dolan, who also, there was a report saying he wasn't too fond of Thibs, but that's not why he got fired. He got fired because the players, imagine if Towns goes into a meeting and says, I don't think I could play another year under Coach Tibs. So yeah, that's Size 9. These are the reports. I mean, if you don't want to believe them, you don't have to. Outspoken introvert. I care more about the championship than I do the seeding. I don't give a damn 1 or 2 seed. I want to win the championship. Dolan came to a hug party in the locker room. Yeah, that's true. I do remember that. Nah, he's not involved. No. Rose controls the shots. What Dolan said on the Roommates podcast was that he's there to hold them accountable. Shot Legacy, salute to you. When we say players, let's be real. Most likely that's Cat and Mikal. Facts. Final call for calls, man. I do want to thank everybody that called up. From James to my man Juan to Yuri, my man Trevor from Queens to BK. Salute to you, Maxine. Ain't you supposed to be sleeping, Maxine? How Maxine's up? Let's see. Man, size 9, man. I didn't know you felt that way. Mikal told him publicly, but he didn't throw him under the bus, though. He didn't say he felt like he had an inability to adjust. Because he said he played in the stars too many minutes and he had an inability to adjust. Mikal didn't say that publicly. A lot of coaches are taken aback by the Thibs firing. But nah, Dolan's not on. Dolan's not on involved. Right. He did say that publicly, but he didn't say he had the inability to adjust. No, but see, Child Legacy. Stefan Bondi asked the question to Mikal, did you speak to Coach Tibs? Mikal didn't go to the press saying I had to talk to Coach Tibs because he's playing us too many minutes. By the way, y'all need to be here on Mondays, noon. I do the podcast This Week Inside the Knicks. I cover all of this. All of these sources you see up here, I talked about it on Monday. So if you want to get all the information and see what's going on news-wise, because it comes with a blog that's like a weekly digest where I have all the news from the week. So definitely pull up and check it out. On the way out as well, I do want to share with you guys a channel membership. Because a lot of the people you see who are channel members, they are also a part of the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. So when you click that join button, you're going to get a couple of perks. I got the 2 packages, the starter Knicks fans and the hardcore Knicks fan. I want to go talk about the starter Knicks fan because it's a great place to start. Now, with either package, you get access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server where you can extend the conversation with me and talk to me off of YouTube, right? And share what you got to share and let me know how you feel. Now, in this Discord server, we have 24/7 Knicks chat. We always talking about Knicks. We have an NBA chat. So we're talking about the finals right now. We have a boxing chat. We have spaces for all sports. So get up in there, extend the conversation with me, join the channel. Also, of course, when you become a member, you get the cool badges, right? We also got the members only live chats. I do shows where I only want to talk to members. Usually those are shows where I'm locked in on content and I'm trying to get out. And I don't want the chat to distract me. Members also get priority reply on comments. Like my man George Bryce, salute to him. He comments all the time. And so I look out for your chats. Also, members get access to the whatever membership only status updates and videos. I got this video series called The Unfiltered Thought. I was going to record one tonight, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow. The Unfiltered Thought series is me dropping content on things that I usually wouldn't share on the internet. Of course, members get shouted out, and of course you get discount on merch, right? Some of the merch that you can see. This Bodega Cat shirt right here, Captain 11 mug. Go to shop.the Objective Knicks fan. You get a discount on all those merch when you become a member. Okay. So let me see. So size 9, man. I hear you, brother. But yeah, we gotta. Let me see. Josh Hart did that the day of the show. Who's to say Mikal said publicly though? He's a basic player. No, he's somebody who that they probably gonna sign. And remember, we traded 5 picks for him. So if he says that to the owner, then yeah. But I want to give a big time salute to all the callers. Yuri, my man, Juan, right? James, Trevor, Harlan, the BK. I'm sorry, BK Queens. I want to give a big time salute to Moses, my man LD out of Cali. Salute to LD out of Cali. Yeah, man. Salute to everybody that called up, man. I'm gonna give big salute to size 9, man. Size 9, man. It's gonna be all right, man. We gonna get that superstar, man. Trust me, we gonna get that superstar, man. Salute to outspoken introvert. I see you. Salute to Maxine making a brief appearance. Knicks will be champs 25-26. Automatic gunfire. Okay, automatically him gunfire. Salute to Giannis. He says Giannis not going anywhere. Okay. Salute to One Life. Knicks will be champs 25-26. Knicks Tape Madness Discord server channel member. One of the first monitor on the channel. Salute to HRM the Great. Channel member, Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. Salute to everybody that tuned in. I think Coach made an appearance. Oh, salute to Issa Ortiz for the super chats. I do appreciate all the super chats that you guys send. Outspoken introvert. That's what I'm hoping for. You said it's great that we develop our own stars. I'm hoping that we could develop Brunson because I think that he has superstar potential. But that's all I got for you guys tonight. I do appreciate you guys for watching the Call Up Show. I'll be back on Monday, anywhere between noon to 2. Check me out on Monday, and I'll probably be returning with another members only live show coming soon. All right. I appreciate you guys. That's all I got for you tonight. And until next time, let's go Knicks.